Thanks to those joining me live and to those that'll be joining me on and those joining me on archive as well. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Okay. We are doing the first half of the tournament today. This is the lightweight tournament. The matches were selected on what day was it? Was it Sunday, Monday? I forget. But we did the selection process already. And here we are. All right. Stay on here, guys. We have a lot to go over, a lot to cover. Make sure you share the video on all your social media platforms, and don't forget to press the like button. Throw a jab at the like button. Make sure that the like button turns blue, especially if you're listening on archive. We will get this started in a little bit. All right? Let me know if you're there. Let me know if there's audio. I want to make sure you guys can hear me. All right? Before I proceed. All right? I want to make sure you guys can hear me before I proceed. Man. This is going to be a very exciting tournament. A lot of names. All right? There's a lot of names in this tournament. And I want to go over the names really quick. If I could pull this up. Check it out. The matchups are as follows. All right? What's going on, John? Juan Manuel Marquez, Ray Mancini. Should be a good one. Pacquiao, Alexis Arguello, right out of the gate. Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus Edwin Rosario. No. Wait. Yes. Oh, yes. Wow. Edwin Rosario versus Floyd Mayweather Jr. in the first round, guys. Adrian Broner versus Shane Mosley. Jose Luis Castillo versus Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. Terence Crawford versus Roger Mayweather. Robert Guerrero versus Stevie Johnson. Nate Campbell versus Esteban de Jesus. So there you go. So those are that's the lineup. You guys can also see it on the screen as well. And we're going to see how this is actually going to play out because it's going to be very, very interesting. We're just waiting for people to show up. All right. 8 p.m. Eastern Saturdays, and tomorrow we will be live 10 p.m. Eastern, I apologize, today. And then tomorrow we will be live 8 p.m. Eastern time. Okay? 8 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. We will conclude the tournament. And we have some great matchups for tomorrow as well. Tomorrow, we're going to start with Brandon Rios versus Roberto Duran. Yeah, we kind of know who's going to win that one. Diego Corrales against Aaron Pryor. Mikey Garcia, Hector Camacho. Juan Diaz versus Pernell Whitaker. Joel Casamayor versus Vinny Pacienza. Vasily Lomachenko against Oscar De La Hoya. Juan Lascano versus Ken Buchanan. Jesus Chavez versus Rocky Lockridge. Okay, so those are the matchups, the first round matchups starting tomorrow. And, of course, we'll start filling in the brackets. The winner of that bracket will face the winner of as simple and as direct as that. Let me know if you're there. I know somebody's just watching. Let me know if you're there. I want to make sure. It looks like only John's here. All right. So let me know if you're there. Post something in the chat. All right. This is a participant type stream. Right. So I need to know if you guys are there. Say something. What's going on? 88 Sports Talk. All right. What's going on to you, bro? Stay on here, man. We're going to have some great lightweight matchups. We need your votes for them. All right. Chicano Prophet in the house. What's going on, Chicano? I hope you stick around to give us your votes. All right. and all that good stuff. All right. What's going on? AJ10 is on here. All right. I did already share this. I already put this video out there. So people should be getting their notifications pretty soon. Okay. I even did it an hour earlier today. So the scheduling of the stream, you know what I mean? So there you go. I'm going to put this up here. All right. Don't forget, you're tuning to D-Style Boxing Live. Support the channel. Join the D-Style membership today as low as $1 a month. Absolutely. Right? Make sure you guys do that. A lot of great I mean, I always get started and then people complain, that they didn't get to vote or something. But it is what it is. You know what I mean? So we had low volume when Whitaker eliminated Floyd. Later, a bunch of people didn't like it. Hey, you know what I mean? There's nothing we can do about it. We could do this with just one person. You know what I mean? So, AJ10 says he has Robert Guerrero taking the whole thing. Well, I know Ruben will be somewhere voting on here, I would think. You know what I mean? So I don't know how Ruben Guerrero is going to be feeling about this at all. That's going to be very, very interesting. All right. We got Stormy B-Man on here. What's going on, Stormy?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? How you doing?
Doing good, bro. Doing good. Getting ready
to. Let me say this.
Sure.
Excuse my being a little tardy. I was on the computer doing a tutorial on how to, make some modifications to my show and my program. So forgive me on my time. Sorry about that.
No, it's all good, bro. We appreciate your time. Glad you're here. This is Stormy B-Man. I'm pretty sure you guys already know who it is, but if you don't, now you know. Subscribe to his channel. Salute to you as well, 88 Sports Talk. We're going to be starting this tournament in a little bit. I just want to give an opportunity for some people to come in the chat and all that. Curtis Anderson said he's getting his phone charged. Let's give him a moment, of course. Definitely want his take and all that. Me and Stormy will be beginning shortly. Man, let me tell you, Stormy, just in general, what's your opinion of the lightweight division and its history?
I think that's been a division where a number of the best fighters in the world have competed because they are small enough that the speed and the technique that they utilize, they can make it look pretty, but they are powerful enough that when they land with precision and power and everything, the effect that they have on the opponents. A perfect example of recent memory would be when Sugar Shane Mosley fought at lightweight. Man, he was dynamic. He was spectacular, and what a fighter. And then going back to other fighters like Duran and, but quite naturally, those are the guys that really, they're small enough but large enough. You use your moniker Dragon Style. Bruce Lee was 5'7.5" and pretty much 130 pounds at his best. And people like to see him, what he did, and he looked good doing it. So it's usually that guy, that size, that stature that can capture people's attention, especially when they are good at what they do, whether it's a guy who is boxing with technique, whether it's a puncher who gets guys out of there, whether it's a defensive specialist, a guy who's slick and he's slippery in there like a Pernell Whitaker. Those are the fighters that you like to see because they have something and they draw the ire of the fans of the sport.
Yeah, and one thing I noticed is in the U.S. anyway, this wasn't really the case in Mexico as far as culture-wise, but in the United States, I did notice a lot of fight fans, not all, of course, but a lot of fight fans, 135 is as low as it would go. I know that changed a lot in recent years. I know some fight fans today, like, I don't go past 135, under, I should say, 135. So I think lightweight for a long time was the the lowest possible division a lot of American fight fans would watch. Of course, later on, we had the rise of Nasim Hamed and Barrera. Before that, we had Salvador Sanchez too, but you have to be very, very special to be acknowledged at under 130, 135. Why do you think that is?
I think we're talking about when you get down to smaller than 135, it has to be someone of Herculean feats, because let's just face it, we are a society that bigger is better. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like people look at that as well with the little guys as far as boxing. But I say, if you've got someone down there that's really pulverizing people and they have some charisma, people will tune in. Like, look at Prince Nassim, for a featherweight. He was knocking people out with this unorthodox, doing everything wrong, leaping with his chin in the air and everything else, but he was getting results. Yeah. And he also had a gift for gab and talk some stuff, and that drew, the ire of the public. Let's see this guy. And most people want to see him get his butt whooped, but he was still successful doing what he did. So I think that it does come back to that thing that bigger is better. And and when you go from that end of the spectrum up to the heavyweights, of course, who wants to see heavyweights that are feather fisted and can't knock guys out? You know what I mean? It's like nobody wants to see that. It's like you want to see you're a heavyweight, put that dude to sleep. So it's that kind of thing, that the yin and yang, so to speak.
Yes, definitely, absolutely. Well, let's go ahead and get this fantasy tournament started. We're going to see where this is, of course, going to take us. If anybody wants to vote in, of course, the link is in the description, but I do need to know who you are for me to let you guys in. I'm just going to let you know right now, okay? No weirdos around here. But and I also, if anyone joins the panel or anything like that, I ask that if you need to know who the guys are. If not, you just got to say pass or something, okay? That's all I'm going to ask. So let's go ahead and get this started, man. The first matchup that was selected, and well, first let me explain to those that don't know, I don't select the matches, all right? I have somewhat of a say of, who gets in or not, of course, but, we need to weed it out a little bit. But the fighters themselves consist of two sets of fighters, okay? It consists of fighters from the last 20 years, and then the other set of fighters were fighters from the 90s, 70s, and 80s. And of course, and from there, the subscribers went ahead and selected the matchups from those two groups, okay, to face each other in the first round. And I do that on purpose because I don't want people matching up legend versus legend, in the first round, okay. And it also creates interesting matchups with modern day fighters versus fighters of the past from different eras. We did not select anyone past, under the 70s. Okay, this is strictly some 70 fighters, some 80s, and some 90s, and in the first round against fighters of the last 20 years. What's going on to Scrapbook Boxing? This is What's Good, Storm B-Man, and my brother D-Style. What's Good, Chat? A great lightweight two-time champion, 21 main events fight in Madison Square Garden, a record till this day. And he says that's Bao Jack, right? So shout out to him, and shout out to Scrapbook. If you guys are not subscribed, subscribe, okay? So with that said, before we get started, Stormy, what do you think of the concepts?
Meaning what, sir, specifically?
Just
the concepts of how you set this up?
The way it was set up, yes.
Oh, it's pretty cool. I hadn't gone to that length of putting together crossovers in tournament style fashion, but this is pretty interesting because the way you've lined people up, there appears to be, assured winners on both sides, but as the brackets change, so does the prospect of winning. So that's pretty cool. I like how you did it.
Now I know there's some favorites on here, but of course, as the brackets close in, you got to look at the stylistic matchups. Sometimes styles do make fights. All right, so let's go ahead and get this started here. Of course, when Kurt Sugar could come on, I know he said his phone is charging. We'll definitely have him on as well. Anyone that wants to come in, of course, as I mentioned, the link is in the chat. So there's that. First matchup is very interesting to me anyway. Juan Manuel Marquez, who was, basically the lineal lightweight champion of the mid 2000s, pretty much, and early 2000s. But let me take that back. From the mid to late, 2000s, Marquez was basically up there as far as lightweights go, and of course going in against Ray Mancini. Ray Boom Boom Mancini. Let me rephrase that. How do you see this matchup, Stormy? And just by the way, all matchups are 12 rounds in the hypothetical. But how do you see them in a hypothetical 12-round matchup?
I got one question about this fight before I even,
sure.
Go forward. Are we looking at each of these fighters in their primes, at how they're facing off? Because, that's the thing.
Right. So what we're looking at is not so much their prime in their career, but their prime in this weight class. Their best at the weight class, lightweight. Yeah.
Okay. Well, this fight, Ray Mancini was not the most technical of fighters. He was not, but he had something that was a throwback to fighters of like say the 50s and the 40s. He had a toughness, like a LaMotta type thing, but he wasn't as tough as LaMotta. But Ray Mancini would bring that, and he believed in himself. He fought like for his dad. He wanted to really present himself as a physical entity in the ring, and you'd have to really basically bring a ball bat to get him out of there or to beat him back. And it took technically sound fighters who could do that with him. This would be a very interesting matchup because Juan Manuel Marquez had that technical ability. He had a very good boxing style, a very good punch at the weight. He was defensively responsible, and he had a toughness in him. JMJ had a thing like he never showed emotion. You know what I mean? He was stoic, and Mancini would probably try to draw something out of him, like make him go to a war or whatever. I think at the end of the day, JMJ could get him in the late rounds, but it would be a physically tasking fight for him. Physically tasking. But he fought other fighters who were physically imposing. Morales and Barrera, those guys had a little bit of what Mancini would bring. And because Mancini wasn't as technically sound as those two guys, that's the window that JMJ would have. But he would have to work it toward the late rounds. There was just something about Pazienza where after the 7 or 8, you could get him. But it would be a grueling fight for you. So I would have to go with JMJ.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sorry, Juan Manuel Marquez. I'm sorry.
I got you.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Look, I agree with a lot of what he said. The only fight that worries me, like some fights worry me when I think about them. Even though Marcus, did win the fights and he knocked these guys out and all that, but there's a Katsides fight. You know what I mean? He got in a firefight in that fight, and Katsides was not giving him any breathing room. Katsides had just lost his brother, and he was motivated by that. And I don't know if you remember the story where it was like the
Yes.
Greeks believed that, after 40 days of mourning, there's a celebration. This was the 40th day. So I guess he was motivated a lot. So he was coming in with a lot of, motivation. And he fought the fight of his life against Juan Manuel Marquez. Came up short. Marquez just outclassed him and stopped him in the end. The Juan Diaz fight, that was another fight that he was in a firefight in. And what a lot of these lightweights used their size with him. This is a guy that was coming up from a lower weight class, and Marquez had some issues with that. Do you think Mancini could maybe impose himself on Marquez and have a shot in this fight?
The shot he would have would be the physicality. Would he wear Marquez down? But as far as challenging Marquez to, a firefight or whatever, Marquez was about as tough as they come. Yeah. He was no pushover by any means. I mean, the man got dropped three times in the first round by Manny Pacquiao and basically got up and won the rest of the fight. I mean, so getting hit, that's the one thing that I really respect from fighters like Marquez, is because getting hit, bleeding, getting dropped down, and getting back up, all of that to them, fighters like them, that's part of the process. That doesn't mean you won yet. And they have the mentality and the gumption to say, I'm still here, I'm still fighting. Now, Mancini, remember, a lot of that was bravado and, like I'm a tough Italian, this kind of thing or whatever. But in boxing, tough guys get hurt. You know what I mean? It's the smart guys that usually typically end up being safe and taking care and things like that. So again, that was the window of difference between these two fighters and their approach, because Mancini was more on that physicality side, but Marquez could fight physical, but he was smart as well. He was smart. His boxing IQ, I believe, was just a little higher, enough to make the difference in this fight.
Definitely. Let's go ahead and put it up for a vote in the chat. So right now, the 10 points for Stormy does go to Juan Manuel Marquez. Let's see how we see it. Press 1 for Marquez and press 2. All right. Press 2 for Ray, Boom, Mancini. Right. Member votes are worth double, 2 points, and regular guys are 1 point. Okay. So let's see what you guys got. 2 Mancini, 1 Marquez, 2 Mancini. And it looks like there's a bunch of votes for Marquez already. No need to really tally it up at this point. Dia just said Mancini would just be too big and strong for him. I tend to kind of not so much agree like he would win the fight because of that. I think that would present some problems for Marquez. But I think Marquez wins this fight in a war, possibly stops Mancini late, man. Like 11th round stoppage or something like that. If not, he wins by, competitive but clear win for Marquez, but in a war, in a fight of the year type candidate fight. All right. But it's clear Marquez wins this one, guys. All right. So we're ready to move on. I think Marquez wins this pretty handily. The next one, you see it right there. Manny Pacquiao versus Alexis Arguello. Somebody picked that matchup as a first round matchup. Manny Pacquiao, unless I'm mistaken, his only lightweight fight was against David Diaz, I believe from Chicago, right? He's from Chicago?
Yeah, David Diaz is from the Chi. Yes, sir.
Yes. And that was, in my opinion, one of the best performances of Manny's career. He was just dominant in that fight. And, David Diaz pretty much just couldn't take the assault. You know what I mean? It was like a tsunami. It didn't stop. And Manny Pacquiao ended up stopping him, but that's about it. Alexis Arguello, obviously more accomplished at the weight class. That goes without saying. In a matchup, however, assuming that version of Manny Pacquiao that fought David Diaz got in the ring with the best version of Alexis Arguello at 135 pounds, how do you see that matchup, Stormy?
Wow. Good matchup, man. And let me say this about Diaz from the shot. Diaz was a good fighter. He had good skills and decent boxing ability, but he didn't have power. That was his drawback. And that hurt him when he stepped up to the class of fighters like Pacquiao and a couple of others that he was able to face in his career. But sometimes you don't have it. And he was one of those guys. Had he had some decent to moderate punching power, it could have made a difference. I just wanted to say that about him. And I saw him fight live a couple of times. Now, as far as Manny Pacquiao and Alexis Arguello, for all of the fans out there of boxing, this is a great matchup. It is a fight that it would be a super fight if they could have that fight today. But I'd be sorry to disappoint a lot of fans of Pacquiao, but Pacquiao would be demolished by Alexis Arguello. The reason being, and I'm not saying this as a hater and all of that, but technical wise, Manny would be set up by Alexis Arguello's right hand. He had a murderous right hand, and he could take guys out like Tommy Hearns would be taking guys out when he was a welterweight and super welterweight. Um, Alexis Arguello was also a patient assassin. He would break guys down. He would utilize his boxing ability, and he was patient enough to do what Juan Manuel Marquez was able to do finally after 4 fights. But because Arguello was such a better fighter, he could get Manny within the distance of that fight, because he would allow Manny to get comfortable, and he had the type of boxing IQ that he would set something up, meaning Manny's southpaw stance and how he would like to leap in with combinations and things like that. Throwing flurries didn't mean anything to Arguello, because he knew how to pinpoint, set his defense, and get ready to catch you. And you don't see a lot of classy fighters like that today, but you could study film of them and you could see exactly why he had the success that he had. And he didn't need a lot of room to get that right hand off either. He could get it at a short distance and catch you coming in. He hit Aaron Pryor with stuff that should have knocked his head off. And it was amazing that Aaron Pryor was able to take that, but that was above average situation. Manny has shown that he's been on the floor, you know what I'm saying? But against Arguello, he'd go to sleep.
And by the way, RIP to Alexis Arguello as well. Lost him a couple years ago. What's going on, Big Dog Willie?
What's good? What's good? What's good?
How do you see this matchup? The second matchup, we're going over Manny Pacquiao at lightweight versus Alexis Arguello.
Oh, Alexis Arguello. Man, he was the truth. I mean, honestly, he's probably, he's up there. I mean, Manny Pacquiao fought so many different weight classes. I can't really see him dealing with Arguello. Arguello got too much power, to be honest with you, and Arguello is very patient. I don't think Manny's speed combination and his speed would be nullified by Arguello, because I don't think that he would hurt Arguello in any other way. I had to go with Arguello just on the fact that Arguello is just. I think Manny fights one. A lot of people get mad at me for this, but Manny fights one way, and it's full headed board. I'm faster than you are. I can outpunch you, or quicker than you are, and I'm gonna knock you out. Or I can outpoint you, whatever he wants to do. But Alexis Arguello just he can adapt to any style. So I got Arguello on that one.
Okay. You know, the one thing
salute Big Dog Willie, man.
Salute to you too, sir.
No, I was all right. Go ahead. Go ahead,
well, you know, the one thing for me in this fight is Arguello he has the style. Like stylistically, I think it's a bad matchup for Manny. And whoever matched up Manny Pacquiao with Arguello in the first round is an asshole, okay? They didn't want Manny to win. All right. Because there's other greats that Manny actually fares better against, stylistically. But this particular matchup, it's a horrible matchup for him. You know what I mean? And I think Arguello, his patience, he's going to give Manny trouble with the jab. I mean, I can't count Manny out, but, man, he would be an underdog in this fight. Okay, I think, and the speed which gave David Diaz problem, Arguello's going to nullify that the same way Marquez did. You know what I mean? And if you look at Manny Pacquiao fights, when he faces someone that could counterpunch him, his punch output drastically drops. Away goes 80, 100 punches around. Like that just goes out the window. And I just think that Arguello wins this one. I don't think he stops Manny. He can. It's possible for sure. But this Manny Pacquiao 135, I don't think it's stopped. But I think Arguello classes him like 8 rounds to 4, 9 rounds to 3. In my opinion, Arguello wins. Let's put it up for a vote see what the chat thinks. Press 1 for Alexis Arguello and press 2 for Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao. Let me know what you think. This was just a nightmare matchup for Manny.
I got D-Style.
Yep.
Yeah, D-Style. I got Arguello like ninth round KO. Because
you think he picks him apart or catches him with some?
Yeah, I think he sets him up for the big knockout later, because Alexis was that type of guy. Now remember, Manny's a southpaw. Alexis' best punch was a straight right hand down the pike. And what he would do is he would let Manny get comfortable. And, Manny's comfort is getting his punches off, getting his punches out, right, jumping in and jumping out. But there would be a point in that fight when Alexis turned the light out on him, and he wouldn't even see it coming. He did the same thing to Mancini. Mancini was strong and coming in there and everything, and then boom, Mancini was out of there. And it was like, it's almost like if you ever seen Tommy Hearns at his best, it's the same thing. The only difference is Arguello's chin was pretty good too. Let's not forget that. His defeat against Pryor was something that Pryor fought above normal that night, above like a normal man for whatever reason. It was just he was that on that night when they faced. But Manny, again, who has touched the canvas, even at a lighter weight. You're talking about a man who could really separate a man from his senses in Arguello at that weight class. So I think he would set him up, and then when he lay it on him, he wouldn't get up. So I was thinking like a ninth round, late ninth or 10th round knockout.
You think, whatever Marcus figured out after 3 fights, Arguello would have gotten it in the first fight.
I just
exactly. That's what I had said originally.
I think Arguello just has a higher boxing IQ than Manny Pacquiao, just in general. And I just, Manny Pacquiao, great athlete, hand speed, physically tool, one of the best fighters ever. But Arguello just as his IQ, it's just like kind of like Floyd. It's just that he's gonna let Manny do his thing, and then he's gonna, like I agree with him. He's gonna get dropped, or he's gonna get knocked down a couple of times. He's not gonna be able to recover from that type of punishment. I just don't think. I think Manny Pacquiao, and I hate to say this, but I think Manny Pacquiao is just like a one-trick pony to me, my opinion. One hell of a one-trick pony, but yeah, a one-trick pony.
He's definitely, he's a great. No shame in losing to Alexis Arguello. I'll tell you that right now. Gee, funky. All right, Matt. So Alexis Arguello advances. He defeats Manny Pacquiao in the first round. He will advance. Interesting matchup in the next round for him, for sure. We are moving on to Floyd, Pretty Boy, Floyd Mayweather, against Edwin Rosario. Right? This was a matchup that was put again in the first round. Right? Stormy, how do you see this matchup, man? At lightweight.
Well, a very good fight again here. This one's not as hot as the first fight we talked about, but Pretty Boy was pretty good, pretty damn good. Rosario was not fast enough to keep up with Pretty Boy in this instance, and Pretty Boy, I could see him just picking Rosario apart. Rosario lost to Camacho, and Pretty Boy had far more talent than Camacho and probably a far better chin. So with this one, I think Pretty Boy Floyd wins going away. I wouldn't be surprised if Rosario at one point got a punch in that kind of like wobbled him like Shane Mosley or something, but that would just make him focus up and finish out that fight like a champ. So yeah, I got Pretty Boy Floyd winning this one, going away.
All right. Look, the one thing that sticks out, I mean, Rosario was one hell of a puncher. You know what I mean? But I mean, I think Floyd will be. I think he would just box him, man. I don't think he would like really engage with him or anything like that because Rosario was just too hard of a puncher. I think Floyd, I do agree with you, would box circles around him and play it safe. I don't think it would be a crowd pleasing fight or anything like that. But at the end of the day, the game is winning, and I see a W there. But how do you see it, Big Dog Willie?
You know, I really like Edwin Rosario. I mean, Edwin Rosario he was a G, man. I ain't gonna. I mean, he punched his ass off. But Floyd, the speed and his defense. I don't think Rosario can consistently throw that punch and to hit him flush. And that's one thing about Floyd in any weight class is about hitting him flush. And so especially at 135, Floyd at 135 was so nasty. He can like not get hit, but like return the punches at power with speed too. So I had to go to Floyd, but man, I'll be honest with you, I like Rosario a lot more than I like. Rosario, one of my more favorite fighters. I'll be honest with you, I like Rosario more than I like Floyd. But I had to be real with myself. Mayweather Jr. is a better fighter at that weight class.
Yeah, looks that's unanimous right there. Let's get the chat to vote. Press 1 for Mayweather, 2 for Rosario. Let's see if anyone thinks Rosario could win this fight. I think it would have to be a perfect storm for Rosario to win. You know what I mean? Like maybe Floyd comes in with an injury or he catches Floyd early with something big and Floyd doesn't recover. It's always a possibility, but I think more than likely Floyd Mayweather wins this fight. It's a lot of ones there. It's already one-sided there. So we're going to go ahead and proceed right to the next matchup. Adrian the Problem Broner versus Sugar Shane Mosley. All right. If you guys, first of all, I think everyone agrees that, Broner was better at 135 than he was when he moved up to 147. But as far as Shane, even though Shane was really good at 147, the Shane Mosley at 135 was a beast. Okay, this guy was a wrecking ball. Right? If you've never seen Shane Mosley at 135, do yourself a favor and check him out. But this, again, 135 pounds. Big Dog Willie, man, how do you see this matchup? Broner, Mosley, 135.
Like what you just did to me.
Okay, so I got Shane Mosley. No, that's just too much speed.
No,
too
not
much.
enough. Not enough.
Maggie, get out here. My girlfriend is annoying me. So I got too much speed, too much power, too much footwork, just too much everything. Adrian Broner has nothing on Shane Mosley.
Yes, he does.
At that weight. Honestly, I'll be honest with you. Maybe at 147, but at 135, no.
We'll go 125.
Okay. Yeah, at 135, it's so you think Mosley takes it? All right. And how do you see it, Stormy? That'll be you're on mute there.
Sorry about that. Had trouble coming off mute. I see that as a total wash more than I saw Mayweather over Rosario. Shane Mosley at lightweight was such a force of nature. I mean, you could put him in with guys from history, and probably only the guys who could handle him would be some of those guys, you know, back in the Ike Williams days and stuff like that, who were so technically proficient, because that's what Vernon Forrest presented for him. But otherwise, he could just overwhelm you with his speed and his power. He was not a boxer, but he was a fast puncher, and he could get there before you. I could even say he'd be the first guy to knock Adrian Broner out, because Shane was that stellar at lightweight.
Yeah, definitely, man. I got Mosley dominating this fight. Broner, he might put up a fight for, I would say, about 4 or 5 rounds, but after that, it's a wash. I don't think he could take that power at all, especially if he tries that. He I think, uses that shell defense, but he does it without the footwork, and that would be a nightmare to do that against Shane Mosley. I think Mosley catches him, hurts him, either knocks him out early, or if Broner manages to box him a little bit, I think Broner gets knocked out in the mid to late rounds. So Mosley should take this one. Just for the sake of it, let's have the chat vote. Press 1 for Broner. Press 2 for Mosley. I'm dying to know if anybody has Broner winning this one. Anybody? While the chat votes, this one's already pretty much set. Let's move on. On the bracket here, we have some interesting matchups. Let me see if I can bring this up. I don't know what happened. What is this? I just messed up my screen. Hold up. Unbelievable. You guys saw my Twitter feed. It's all good. Let me, it's going to be Jose Luis Castillo versus Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. Some dudes put these sparring partners up against each other. Stormy, how do you see that matchup, man?
Chavez stops him in the middle rounds.
Okay.
Because Castillo, as a sparring partner to Chavez, Castillo knew a lot about Chavez, but you can best believe that because they sparred together, there were a number of things that Chavez held back in sparring that he saved for his live matches, and that he would trick Castillo at some point and break him down and get him out of there. And that was Chavez's greatest asset, how to break a guy down. He wasn't knocking guys out with a knockout punch. Man, he beat them brutally to the body, stop them, make them keep their hands at home. And when you're keeping your hands at home and you're not offering up that offense, eventually he's just going to wear you down and get you out of there. If he could do it, Algan, do it to Castillo.
And most definitely. How do you see that matchup between the two sparring partners, Big Dog Willie?
I don't know what the next round is because I have somebody fucking with me. What's the next round?
That's all right. It's going to be Chavez Sr. versus Jose Luis Castillo.
Oh, man, I got Senior.
Okay.
Senior, in my opinion, at that weight, especially at lightweight, is just he's all around. I can't see. I'll be very honest with you. There's no really weaknesses at that round except for maybe speed, but technically with the combinations, the footwork, everything else, power, especially power. Senior has it. I can't really even put the other dude in the same stratosphere as him. I'd be very real with you.
Man, so no shot for Castillo. And I think you guys are right. You know what I mean? And look, people use sparring a lot, to make comparisons and stuff like that, to say, oh, well, this guy, got the best of this guy in sparring. So that's proof that this guy could beat that guy. And look, man, even though sparring is simulated fighting, it still isn't a fight. You know what I mean? It's not 100% fight. And they're not going to, you just don't know. Was it the beginning of the camp, the end of the camp? Which fighters had a full day of training versus the other guy is fresh, that the other guy just spars somebody else. At the end of the day, this was the sparring partner of Julio Cesar Chavez. Chavez is just a superior version of Castillo. As much as I like Castillo, I think it's a wrap. I want to ask, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah, it's my damn Twitter saying forever to load the damn bracket. I don't know why. So I apologize for that. Chat, press give me a 1 for Castillo. Give me a 2 for Chavez. Who do you vote in the first round? I think Chavez knocks him out, by the way.
By far. By far. I think it's like a third round knockout.
No, he's lying.
Yeah. Big Dog Willie looks so annoyed right now. But it's all right, bro. But let's see. Someone said this was it the easiest matchup in your opinion so far, Stormy?
No, I think the matchup with Arguello and Pacquiao is actually.
Okay. Wow.
Remember, I said there will be some semblance of familiarity between Castillo and Chavez because they sparred so many rounds together. But Chavez would save something that Castillo never knew was there in a live fight. But against Arguello, because of the difference, like Big Dog Willie suggested, that the boxing IQ of Arguello, when he finishes Pacquiao, he will have made it look easy. But it wasn't.
Right.
But he'll make it look that way because of his experience, his patience, the ring IQ, and boxing guile. He would make Pacquiao run into something. That right hand that Juan Manuel Marquez landed in that fourth fight would get home in the first fight between Arguello and Pacquiao.
There you go. All right. All right. So far, it's pretty even in terms of the modern day guys and some of the guys from the 90s and 80s and 70s. Let's go on to the next matchup. I think this is a very interesting matchup. Okay, I really do. But here it is: Terrence Crawford versus Roger Mayweather, the Mexican assassin. All right. How do you see this matchup, Stormy?
Crawford all day long. Crawford was not a Mexican. And the thing about it is Roger Mayweather had problems, and that's not a slight on the Mexican fighter. It's a slight on his nickname, being the Mexican assassin, because I felt like he should have dropped that when he faced Chavez those couple of times. You know what I mean? But Crawford would beat him easily, just like Sweet Pea Whitaker did. You see, he would make that shoulder roll stuff that Roger did and everything obsolete. He would be able, and I think that Crawford has more pop on his punches than Sweet Pea did. So this would be one of those fights, being able to change up from southpaw to orthodox. He would really make Roger make a mistake and get the better of him. No doubt about it.
All right, Big Dog Willie, how do you see this?
I'd agree with my guy, Terrence Crawford. I think it's just his athletic ability. Terrence Crawford is a better boxer. I can't think anybody who is a better boxer than he fought. I honestly, Roger Mayweather, nice, solid boxer. He does what he does. He was more athletic than the people he fought. And Terrence Crawford is just as athletic he is, if not more athletic than he is. And a better boxer, to be very real with you. And when Roger Mayweather did fight somebody who was more athletic than he was, he got dealt with. So I had to go with Terrence Crawford on this one.
Definitely. Shout out to Cali Enigma. I do think Crawford takes this one as well. I think Roger gives him a good fight. I think it goes decision. You know what I mean? I think the fight goes decision. Thank you very much, Cal Enigma, 70's style boxing. Smash the like button. However, I mean, Crawford stopping him wouldn't necessarily shock me, especially not at lightweight, where Crawford was a pretty good puncher at lightweight for sure. So, chat, go ahead and give me a 1 for Crawford or 2 for Roger Mayweather. How do you guys see this matchup right here? While the crowd votes, Kelly, I see you. How do you see Crawford against Mayweather? Roger Mayweather.
Yeah, I would pick Terrence Crawford. I think Terrence Crawford stops him, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I do. I think Terrence Crawford eventually stops him late though. Somewhere between between 8 and 12. He'll stop him somewhere in between then. But I think he outboxes him, and I think it's probably a little close early on, but I think the tail end of the fight, Crawford starts to pull away and start to dominate. And I think that before he stops him, he's gonna beat up Roger Mayweather pretty badly, in my opinion. I do think that that Terrence is definitely ahead of, or I should say, maybe I'll say a class above Roger Mayweather, who had some great fights, man. No disrespect to him, but I do. I think he's just a class above him. But it would have been a great fight. Roger Mayweather put up good fights against a lot of people, but I do think that, me personally, I guess you'd have to judge it if he wasn't fighting so much. I think all the fighting, sometimes he would fight twice in a month and stuff like that too. I'm talking about Roger Mayweather at least fight the next month. I think a lot of that abuse, that's a lot of abuse to your body. I think it caught up with him at times. It does reduce it weakens your punch, your punch resistance. But it also makes you tougher too, makes you mentally tougher to be able to handle such a grind. But yeah, I still like Crawford, man. I think just from a skill standpoint, from a speed standpoint, athleticism, footwork, fundamentally, it was just better, man. Just a better fighter, better defensively. I think his awareness is superior there. Of course, Roger Mayweather turned out to be a great trainer, but it doesn't say he was a good fighter too, but he's not where Terrence is, man.
Kelly, will you just expect like the Terrence athleticism to Roger not having like the competition athleticism would just put Roger in? I'll be very real with you.
Say it again.
Terrence athleticism just over Rogers.
Right.
Just I don't think Roger fought anybody as athletic as Terrence.
No, not even close. No,
and Terrence can box his ass off. So I just think that just in general will put Roger at a disadvantage.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, that says it. I mean, it's pretty unanimous so far. We haven't had the second round's going to be really good, but let's go ahead and go to this one. Interesting matchup, but Robert the Goat Guerrero at 135 pounds is not the same Robert Guerrero from 147. Okay, although he did beat Berto, he had some wins at 147 and stuff like that. But at 135 pounds against Stevie Johnson, the the slick Stevie Johnson from the 90s.
Damn good fight.
I think it is a good fight. And, it's probably, at least it give us something to talk about here. Callie, how do you see this matchup?
Oh, man. I need more time to think about this one, man. Wow. This one really could go either way. Wow, because Robert Guerrero at 135 was really good. God damn, that's hey, let me pass. Let me think about it a little bit more.
Shout out to Ruben Guerrero. This is when his son was actually good, but
yeah, I know. I should really lean more toward him since he's from the Bay. I could do that more biased thing, which I could easily, I'm trying not to do that, so I'm trying to think more clear-headed because he's from my area.
Look, he had a draw with Jose Luis Castillo back in like 2000. It should kind of give you guys an idea, right. The level where this guy was at. You know what I mean?
Right, I know, but that's what I'm saying. I'm trying not to be biased towards Robert Guerrero because he's from the Bay, man. He's from the Bay Area. He's from the Bay Area, so I'm trying. That's why I said let me think about this more because I'm trying to eliminate my bias.
Ruben Guerrero is gonna unsubscribe if we don't pick his son. By the way, this is a fight between two southpaws. I mean, that could make it interesting. Stormy, how do you see this matchup?
Oh, man, I don't even think twice about it. Stevie Johnson to get him. In 49 fights, man, the guy, had 6 losses. And he didn't have a hell of a lot of power, but he had boxing. He had boxing ability. He had guile. He had moxie. And for a little dude, he can really throw down. I mean, he could trick you, I mean, fights against guys like Baltazar and Manfredi and like you said, Castillo, and he fought who's who, Vivian Harris, all those guys. He knew how to handle himself in there. And when guys know how to handle themselves in the ring, a fight is never over until the final bell for them because they can trick you. They can make you look bad. And that's one of the things that Robert Guerrero had a problem with, that if somebody didn't just fight him, then what was plan B? Because it's easy to stand and trade with people and stuff. But when you got to chase a guy down and cut the ring off and, work the body and score points and, keep in mind your defense and all of that at the same time, and you're not accustomed to doing that on a regular basis, those decisions get tossed up in the air. So I think that Stevie Johnson will pull this out with a close or majority decision.
Okay.
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go since Storm B Man went. I'm going with the Bay. So okay. Robert Guerrero, man. Robert Guerrero, man. By decision, man. Robert Guerrero by decision. 8 rounds of 4. The Ghost represent the Bay Area, man. I could not be biased. So I had to be biased.
Ruben Guerrero passed this dude some money, bro. But that's a little too much hype. But I got you. Big Dog Willie, how do you see it?
So how I'm gonna look at this? Don't take me wrong, but I think these guys are the great gatekeepers of the division. So Robert Guerrero and Stevie Johnson are the best gatekeepers of that division that I can think of.
Of this class, probably, but they were up there.
Yeah, they won. I mean, but when they got to those fights, they lost. So I have to say, I'm from the West Coast, so I have to say Guerrero. I mean, I want to go Stevie Johnson, but I have to say Guerrero. But Guerrero maybe be a better gatekeeper.
Well, go ahead.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm going with what it is. So I say Guerrero 7-5. Very close fight. 7 rounds to 5 rounds. I don't think these two are elite champions. So I got to go with Guerrero on this one. Stevie Johnson, he's solid, but I'm going with Guerrero just because I'm from the West Coast.
Just because of that. Gotcha.
Yes. It's too close. It's too close to me. It's too close.
Shout out. He had a fight with Bazan here in El Paso. And it was like a controversial decision. I do remember that. But Stevie Johnson, that is. Look, Robert Guerrero, man, the dude he was undefeated, bro, at lightweight. You know what I mean? He didn't fight the who's who, but he wanted that Marquez fight. And like, Marquez is my dude, but he wasn't in a hurry to fight Robert Guerrero. A lot of people forget about that. And at 135, he wasn't the same guy you see or you've been seeing since he moved up to 147. He's just a completely different fighter. He was more of a boxer and stuff like that. I do agree it's a tough fight, though. I think this is a very competitive fight. Likely finishes in controversial fashion. But I think even if Stevie Johnson starts out boxing Guerrero can go ahead and I think he could pressure him. I think he can make it like a dogfight if he has to. And because of that, I think he would edge it out against Stevie Johnson. Big Dog, who did you pick again?
Guerrero.
Okay. Well, so far there's votes on both sides, but Stevie Johnson needs some votes, guys. Tell me who you think, but press 1 for Stevie Johnson, 2 for Robert Guerrero. Okay. Who's going to win this one? Let me know. It's a little bit bad.
The Ghost, man. It has to be the Ghost. You're talking about the dude who's an hour away from me, so you got to go with the Ghost. Got to go with the Ghost, man. Had no choice. And if you got it right. It's a hometown kid, man.
Chicano Prophet, that's 1 for Stevie Johnson. AJ10 votes for Robert the Ghost Guerrero. Diageo says he won't vote. It's fine. Anybody else? We got another vote for Stevie Johnson. 2 Guerrero. I got you, AJ10. Another 2 for the Ghost. So I forgot what the last matchup is here on the first round.
Y'all gonna learn about Stormy B-Man and these breakdowns, man.
No, but you know what you got. If you guys want to know something about us over here, especially when it comes to like the Northern California stuff, like we back our people, man. Well, so we really do. We back our people. I'm being dead ass serious, bro. We back our people, whether it's Andre Ward, whether it's the professional sports teams, rappers, whatever, man. We just back our people, man.
Nothing wrong with backing your people, bro. Nothing wrong.
Yeah. So he said local kid, man. He's a local kid, man. So
nothing wrong with backing your people.
Hey, D-Style, let me go first. I have to get off the phone pretty soon. I got this woman drive me crazy. So
that's all right, bro.
Damn. She won't let me have a break. So between Nate Cam and Esteban De Jesus, I go Esteban De Jesus.
The De Jesus, man. Esteban De Jesus.
Esteban De Jesus. My fault.
Yeah.
I'll go with him. Just Nate Campbell, he's all right, but I don't. Yeah.
It's all good, bro. Chill out. Don't break up over a video.
No. She's playing games. I don't have time for this shit right now.
It's all good, bro. All right, man. Peace out, Big Dog Willie.
I'll be on there tomorrow. What time you gonna do it tomorrow?
A little earlier tomorrow. That's at 8 p.m. Eastern time.
8 p.m. Eastern time. Sorry, y'all. Sorry.
It's all good, bro. Have a good one, man.
All right.
That's Big Dog Willie, everybody. All right.
Peace, bro. Peace.
All right, man.
How's it going, bro?
So Nate Campbell versus Esteban de Jesus. You guys are gonna learn to put some respect on Esteban de Jesus. He ain't here, so I ain't gonna pick on him. Somebody was like, we got to remove Esteban de Jesus and put somebody else. Like, because I don't know who he is. Because I don't know anybody from the 70's. Was that you, Diageo? I forget, but look, man. Esteban de Jesus, man, dropped Duran, twice in 2 fights? Right? Got a victory over Duran early in their careers and stuff. Solid power, man. I got Esteban de Jesus beating Nate Campbell. That's no knock on Galaxy Nate Campbell, but that's how I feel about that. Maybe somebody feels differently. How do you see this matchup, Stormy?
Man, easily, and respect to my man Nate Campbell, because I, heard him in a recent interview giving an account of his career. Salute to the brother and the entertaining fights he gave us through his career. But all things aside, Esteban whoops his ass, and Esteban was a fighter who was more than capable with both hands. He was busy. And Nate, unfortunately, his focus would drift. I remember when he got knocked out by that guy. Was that Flanagan? He dropped his hands and let a guy knock him out. He put his chin out like the guy was throwing punches and everything, and he dropped his guard, and the dude took him out. And the thing about it is, bravado and everything, as we say it all the time. You hear Mike Tyson say it, tough guys in this business get hurt. Okay? And Esteban was a good fighter, and he could sniff out a guy like Campbell, and he could lay in wait for a mistake and take advantage of it. But Campbell was a good fighter, had tremendous heart, and would compete. But it was those little shortcomings, the lack of focus, or just enough that a good to great pro like someone like De Jesus could to get in there and take him out, or get the jump on him, so to speak. So yeah, I would have to go with Esteban easily in this fight.
By the way, Nate Campbell, I'll never forget. He was fighting Juan Diaz, right? And he's beating Juan Diaz at his own game, and this fight's in Mexico. Okay, and I forget what round. I think it was like around like 7 or 8. He just finishes with a big combination. And Juan Diaz just covering up, and the bell rings, ding ding, and Nate just yells at him like, "I could do this all day, all day." And Juan Diaz just bows his head, walks to the corner. He said he had nothing to say. He just kind of kept walking. I think he had a cut too. Well, what's going on, Kurt Sugar?
Hey, what's up, Kurt?
What's going on, y'all, man? Chat, what's going on? Stormy B, man, my brother, Cali, D-Style. Who else we got on here?
So far, Big Dog Willie just took off a little bit ago. Just us for now. Panel.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. I just wanted to speak to everybody. I apologize for my tardiness. I'm good, man. I'm good, man. Excuse me for my tardiness, man. I had to charge my phone. Not only that, me and my wife, we was talking about something important, and I looked up and it was 11 o'clock. I said, man, but I don't know what I missed, but I hear you guys talk about the underrated Esteban de Jesus and Nate Campbell. De Jesus would beat Nate Campbell. Go ahead, D-Style.
Oh, well, there's that. That's that vote. How did he beat him, by the way? Decision, knockout, stoppage?
It would have knocked Nate Campbell out with a left hook, maybe 8, 9 rounds, because Nate Campbell didn't have a high boxing IQ. You just go look at the Robbie Peden fight, an Australian fighter. He got into a game where he put his hands down and let Robbie Peden hit him, and he knocked Nate Campbell out. So I don't like a fighter who has mental lapses, but De Jesus was underrated, man. Coming from Puerto Rico, that small island produced so many great fighters, man. And he knocked Duran down at the Garden in the first fight, with a left hook, and then again in Panama, but Duran got him the second and third fight. But De Jesus, underrated, good boxing skills, good power. He beats Nate Campbell.
All right, and this is how the brackets have looked so far. We have narrowed it down. The first rounds are pretty easy to call for the most part. Is there anything that you see on there, Kurt, that you disagree with?
Let me see here. Read them off to me real quick.
So Marquez defeated Mancini.
I agree.
Alexis Arguello defeated Manny Pacquiao.
That one, I'm not going to hold up the string in the time, but I don't know. I had to come back to that one, but that's a pick 'em fight. Remember, Alexis Arguello, he was stiff. He had a great, straight right hand down the pipe, but Manny Pacquiao will give him trouble. If you look at Arguello, probably gave him trouble by darting in and out, very similar to Manny Pacquiao. I think I'll go with Pacquiao in that fight.
Ooh, all right. Would have been interesting. Okay, Mayweather defeats Edwin Rosario.
Yeah, Rosario was very inconsistent fighter. Great left hook. He'll look good. He knocked out Bramble, and then he'll lose to somebody like Hanaka or Juan Nazario.
Yeah.
Then he got bludgeoned by Chavez Senior. Chavez bludgeons everybody, but I like Mayweather. Too much boxing skills. Too much everything.
Okay. And then everyone kind of agreed that Mosley destroys Broner.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yes, I missed those earlier ones, but yeah, no doubt.
Jose Luis Castillo loses to Julio Cesar Chavez Sr.
Oh, I agree with that.
Sparring partners. He learned from Chavez to fight on the inside, to use short punches, but I agree wholeheartedly. Chavez beats Castillo by decision.
Right. Terrence Crawford beats Roger Mayweather.
I agree. Roger had a sneaky right hand though. He had Pernell Whitaker out on his feet, but in '87. But Crawford beats Mayweather. Crawford too much junk in his trunks, as we used to say in the gym.
Gotcha. And one more here. Robert the Ghost Guerrero beats Stevie Johnson.
That's a very interesting fight because Stevie Johnson gave Castillo hell. And he fought another good fighter from Mexico, Cesar Bazan. Stevie Johnson was tough, but okay, I could see that, Stevie Johnson losing, but it'll be a hell of a fight.
Yeah, for sure. I'm trying to understand what you guys are talking about in the chat. And yeah, just let me know, Big Dog Willie, I'll send you a link. And so there we go. I mean, for the most part, it would have been interesting with the Pacquiao Alexis Arguello debate going on there. But since we're on it, just really quick.
Hold on, I didn't get a chance to pick Nick Campbell and Jesus.
I'm sorry, I forgot about you. Okay. But who do you got? Zeus or Campbell? I didn't even put up for a vote in the chat. We got to do that too. But go ahead, Campbell.
I have the Jesus. When his inside game would be too much for Nate Campbell, and Nate Campbell tends to leave himself wide open. I just don't. I don't see him surviving the fight on his feet. I have the Jesus by knockout within 6 rounds.
Okay. Well, there you go. The first rounds were pretty easy here for the most part, but let's get to these, man. Let's get to the semis or the quarters. Kurt, I want to start with you. Juan Manuel Marquez versus Alexis Arguello. How do you see this matchup at lightweight?
Oh man, what a fight! Oh man, Juan Manuel. I always thought he was just as good as any Mexican fighter I've ever seen. I always thought he was the second best fighter of this generation after Mayweather, but people are going to say Pacquiao because of his name. But he made an emphatic statement, knocking out Pacquiao. I always did like Marquez, man, a hell of a fighter, great fighter. Oh man, he had the 1-2, then he'd come underneath. Alexis Arguello had problems with guys who can move, but man, can he punch? And that straight right hand down the pipe would have gave Marquez some problems because Marquez had mental lapses on defense. That's why it explains the knockdowns against Pacquiao. And then the way he fought the rest of the round or the next round was weird because you would a guy like that, you can't see him having mental lapses. This is a tough one, man. I'm gonna have to go with Alexis Arguello by majority decision, man. It's so hard, but damn, Alexis Arguello, because he was great, and you can't forget. You got to have it of we got to have it of human beings forgetting fighters of the past, 60s, 70s, 80s, and Arguello was obliterating everybody. I have to go with Arguello, man.
All right,
Oh,
Kircher. Votes for Alexis Arguello. Stormy, B-Man. How do you see it?
Well, since Kirk did all the heavy lifting for me in this, I'd just like to add on to what he said. And I think that it would be another late round stoppage for Arguello because of the defensive lapses that Juan Manuel Marquez would have. That right hand, I keep telling you, was no joke. It was like Tommy Hearns in his divisions, what he was doing. And Alexis had one other thing, and we mentioned it in the first round against Ray Mancini. Against Manny Pacquiao. He had patience. He had patience and great timing. He would wait and maybe even draw Marquez into an exchange where he can get that right hand in there. So it's like he was one of those guys from bell to bell. And remember, he was from the 15-round era. So he knew how to conserve himself and everything and save something for later, so to speak. I just think that he would eventually get that in there and cause a late round stoppage. Guys got hit by him back in that weight. And the only thing is, it's like today we don't see anybody doing those things, but it's like back then when he was doing it, man, it was awesome to see. But I got Alexis in the late round stoppage, maybe like 11. Round 11.
Okay. And how do you see it, Kelly?
Me personally, I'm going the opposite direction. I'm going with Juan Manuel Marquez. Yeah, he had defensive lapses, but one thing we have to take into account for what happened with Manny Pacquiao was southpaw, had really good footwork, very explosive, a lot of speed, with power on top of that too. Fast combinations, give you a lot of different angles, and just very different angle. Me personally, I think that Marquez would have an easier time. Not saying the fight would be easy, but an easier time with Arguello due to the fact that he's orthodox. So, I'm going with Marquez by decision.
Gotcha. All right. Big Dog Willie. How do you see
good?
How do you see
man. I love Marquez. Marquez is one of my favorite fighters, so it's hard for me to go against him. I don't want to be biased, but Marquez is a tough fucking fighter. I'm not saying Alexis is not, but Marquez has been through some shit. I think the fact that he did fuck with Pacquiao to a point that all the angles and all the stuff that Pacquiao with the speed, and he timed him, and I believe he won a couple of those fights or some of those draws. That one draw he won. I really believe. Alexis Arguello is a beast. Don't get me wrong, but I had to go with Cali. I had to go with Marquez on this one because I just think Marquez can pull it out. Both of them have heart, but I think Marquez just pull it out on the fact. And like I said, I'm a homer for Marquez, so I had to give it to him on my thing.
Okay, man. Before I give my take, that this one's close, right? This one's actually pretty close, right? But let's get the chat involved here. Give me a 1 for Alexis Arguello. Give me a 2 for Juan Dinamita Marquez. let me see your votes so I can go ahead and tally those in. There's a fight, like, for me, man. Yes, he looked good against, Pacquiao, and I think Pacquiao's style, however, and Marcus's style, they were just kind of made for one another, kind of like Ali and Frazier. They're always going to have great fights. I just don't know, man. Like if you look at the Chris John fight, the Freddie Norwood fight, the Tim Bradley fight, if you cannot box Marquez, if you fight a very disciplined fight, and if you're patient, and Arguello is patient, and I think Arguello wins something like 116, 112 on the scorecards. That's how I see it.
I want to say something real quick.
Yeah.
Because not only Pacquiao, he had mental lapses on defense. It was Michael Casitas. He had no business, because I believe he was down in that fight, didn't he? What? Is somebody refresh my memory?
Oh, it was a tough fight for sure. He ended up stopping.
He was down in that fight.
Yeah, and I was kind of surprised. I was shocked when Bradley beat him, and he's better than Bradley. I was shocked, because I said Marquez for sure, but Marquez, great fighter, had lapses, but Arguello was great. People, like I said, forget about the older fighters, man. And he beat some tough fighters, Arguello, man. Escalera, Chacon, man, and Mancini. He beat a lot of them, but people know him from the Pride fights. But Arguello, no doubt, is an all-time great.
Arguello was definitely no joke, man. That tells you how great Pride was. Man, to go in there to be able to whoop him like that, to be honest with you, be able to get him. So that tells you about him. Because Arguello is definitely but to Marquez, to me, these are two all-time great fighters. Clearly, two first ballot Hall of Famers. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So you can't disrespect either guy. Both dudes are legends. These are two legendary fighters. These are not middle of the road guys. They're both legendary fighters. So salute to both of them. Man.
Hey Kurt, when it gets to this, it's like, honestly, it goes to who you kind of favor. And these guys are like, you have way more boxing knowledge than I do. But I'm going to say who I think and who I feel who can fight better, and what I have seen between it. Like with Lester Ago, I seen videos of him on YouTube. But one way Marquez, I seen him live and seeing what I seen him do. So there's a difference. So, but you seen
how old are you? Just want to let you know how old are you, man? Big
I'm 42.
You're 42. You never seen Arguello fight live?
No, I have. But I was a little fucking kid.
Okay, I'm just saying, but I was a little kid too. But I remember stuff.
I seen Marquez. I seen him fight when I actually knew what boxing was all about. When I said Lester Arguello fight, I was a fucking kid. So I can't.
No, I seen my dad. I used to sit and watch those fights with my dad.
Yeah, but you're a little kid though. You're a little kid.
Yeah.
So you didn't know what boxing was all about until
I didn't understand the entry. I didn't understand boxing like that. You're right.
It's all right. So Alexander Arguello does advance. He does defeat Juan Manuel Marquez to advance in the brackets. All right. So he is going to advance there. Kurt Sugar, did you finish your thoughts there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Stormy, did you want to add anything else? Before we move on.
No, I'm good. I think we can move forward.
This one, look, man, I don't care what anybody says. This is yes, they fought. That was a 147. That was a different Mosley and different Mayweather as well. But at lightweight, both at their best in the lightweight division. This is a crazy fight. Okay. I have a lot of thoughts about this fight. There's been a lot of debate over this fight over the years. A lot of, Mosley, Doug Mayweather, or vice versa. A lot of it, but in this fantasy tournament, they're facing each other. Cali Enigma, who, in your opinion, wins this fight? Both at their best in the lightweight division.
Ooh, this is tough because I do remember Shane Mosley complaining about a toothache in order to avoid fighting Mayweather. So, but that doesn't mean that he would lose the fight, man. Shane Mosley, to me, is the greatest 135-pounder ever. I'm going with Shane Mosley, man. Shane Mosley was killing everybody at 135, man. Shane Mosley, man. I got Shane Mosley by decision. The speed, the power, the ability to slip shots and slip and counter. You know, double up the jab, triple up the jab, hide the shots. I got Shane Mosley, man. I think Shane Mosley. I don't know if he would have stopped Floyd because Floyd has never been stopped, but I think he would win a. I think he'd win a split decision. Mosley by split decision.
Man, we got one for Mosley. That's crazy. This is going to be an interesting one. Kurt Sugar at lightweight. How do you see this one?
I have to go the other way. I have to say Mayweather. You know, hitting Mayweather on the chin is like an anomaly. It's something strange and peculiar when you sit in your living room and you see him get hit, you know, clean. You know, he said that he got too close to Mosley and he broke down the mistake he made on defense, you know, and it's still on YouTube, you know, and I just think that was something that, you know, that was it was a rarity, you know. Mayweather IQ is out of this world, you know, and we ain't talking 147, we talk about 135. People really forget how great he was from 130 to 140. You know, 135, he was a monster. Speed, he was aggressive. Because see, the thing with 135, he would be aggressive. You know, he would be aggressive with Mosley. And Mosley had problems with boxers, even though it was at 147. The talent pool wasn't that deep at 135 like it was at 147. He beat the South African fighter Philip Holliday for the title, and he knocked out my friend from Paterson, New Jersey, Oliver Stone. You know, Mosley was a beast at lightweight, but so was Mayweather from 130 and 140, one of the best fighters I've ever seen. You know, so I would take Mayweather by decision, outboxing Mosley with speed combinations. Mosley had it, but what separates the two is the IQ. You're not outboxing Mayweather, but you can outbox Mosley.
Okay.
I'm finished.
All right. Stormy B-Man. How do you see this one, man?
Man, this is definitely a hands down fight for Mayweather. At the end of the day, Shane was a fast fighter that was a puncher. He didn't box. He didn't use jabs. He went in to overwhelm people with his hand speed and his power. Easy pickings for Mayweather, especially at that weight and during that time when Mayweather was fighting lightweight bouts, because Mayweather had the ability, ate lots of them. It's just that he was able to overwhelm a number of the opponents until he finally faced off against a guy like Vernon Forrest who could box. And if Vernon Forrest could do to Shane what he did eventually when Mayweather could definitely expose and exploit the shortcomings. There's roundhouse punches, windmilling from left to right. Mayweather understand that he could catch him straight down the middle and get out and get an angle and get outside and start it and reset it all over again. And some people don't realize Mosley didn't have the best footwork, okay? Because you got to be planted to throw the shots that he threw. And Mayweather would understand that. They would break that down and dissect him. He'd make it look very easy. And I got Mayweather winning.
I think you cut off there, Stormy. You got Mayweather winning by how? Decision? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
We can hear you. I don't know what happened to Stormy B, man. Cut out.
yeah, because he had a bad connection before he cut out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm having trouble on coming off of mute.
Okay.
No, I was saying that I got Mayweather running away with unanimous decision.
Okay.
That's what I was saying.
All right.
Going away easy.
Blood says it's a damn hard fight. He says, man, Big Dog Willie, how do you see this one? Mayweather versus Mosley at 135 pounds.
So I think the speed, I give edge to speed to Mosley, but Mayweather has his hands are just as fast. Defensively, I think the defensively of Mayweather will shortcome Mosley. I really think that Mosley was nice. This is a hard one to call, but Mayweather, I think Mayweather defensively, and I always go defense over everything else. I had to go with May on this one. Cali, the best 135er is Duran. Sorry, so I go with May over. I think Mosley third on that, but I go Duran, then go Mayweather, then Mosley. But I got Mayweather in this one just because his defensive prowess of Mayweather is that much better than Mosley, and like you said, the Vernon Forrester, Mayweather. I mean, Mosley looked bad against Forrester, and Mayweather didn't look bad against anybody in that division in 135. So I'm gonna go with that one.
Okay.
So I got Mayweather.
All right.
But this one people forget. Vernon Forrest had already beaten Shane Mosley multiple times in the amateurs. Man, it was just bad stylistic matchup, bro. Stylistic fights.
But the fact that he did lose to the guy, so it doesn't matter. You think Mayweather would lost to Vernon Forrester?
Yeah, he lost to Vernon Forrest. Yeah, he lost to Vernon Forrest.
I said Mayweather. I said Mayweather.
Vernon Forrest. Yeah, Vernon. You talking about Mayweather?
Mayweather to Vernon Forrest.
You said who?
Well, okay, one at a time. Go ahead, Big Dog Willie. What are you asking?
I said, do you think Vernon Forrester would have beat Mayweather at that time period?
Oh, you said Forrest. It's Vernon Forrest. Okay, that was what I said Forrest. That's why I kept getting confused. Sorry. But do I think Vernon Forrest could beat Floyd Mayweather? I don't know. To be honest with you, I would have loved to have seen him fight. That would have been a good fight. I don't know if Floyd would even fought him. Floyd didn't really like to fight black boxers, bro. Especially in in the higher weight class.
But, I don't know, bro. But he did when he was younger. When he was at 135, he did. He did fight black boxers. We're talking about 135. We're not talking about 147.
Okay, but just so you got Mayweather, right, Big Dog Willie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, remember, Vernon Forrest is fought at welterweight, though, bro. That's what I'm saying. You talking about? Do I think you could have beat Vernon Forrest? I don't know, because I don't think he would have ever fought him at 147.
Let me
go ahead.
I mean, if we want to make that type of comparison, I mean, Mosley never hurt Forrest the way he hurt Floyd in that second round. You know what I mean? Like, so as far as setting up the punches, I do believe the same scenario would have happened at 135 pounds. The question is, at 135 pounds, is Floyd going to be able to do the same thing, like cover and then, go on from there? Because he caught him twice in that second round, not just one time. He caught Floyd Mayweather twice. Then he tried to do the same thing as the fight progressed, but obviously Floyd caught on to it, right? The question is, can Floyd recover at lightweight? Because I do believe he would catch Floyd. And Floyd got caught a couple of times against Castillo, not often, but he was getting caught. Now, Castillo's a different type of fighter than Mosley. I get all that stylistically. But Mosley could get on the inside on him. You know what I mean? Mosley had all those years, boxing in Mexican gyms, and he could try and make it an inside fight if he had to. But ultimately, I'm going to have to go with Mayweather on this one. All right. I'm going to have to pick Mayweather on this one. I just don't think, while it's possible, I don't know if he knocks out Mayweather. You know what I mean?
D-Style, I'd like to offer one point.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
What's up?
Yeah, I just like to make this one point about Shane Mosley.
I'll be in a minute.
For as fast as he was, and powerful as he was with his hands, Shane did not use a jab. And when you're at the top of the sport with the elite fighters, if a jab is not in part of your repertoire, you're in trouble. I don't care how talented you are. Because a guy who knows the basics and everything, he can exploit that. And that's where Shane's shortcoming was. He was fast of fist, powerful, not necessarily fleet of foot, and then did not utilize a jab.
He used to be used sparingly.
Also.
He used to be used sparingly, though.
There are a number of fighters that would have taken advantage of that at the top of the sport.
I hear you, Stormy. Callie, go ahead and give a case for.
No, I just was making the point of when a fighter doesn't make that a part.
Wow, man, you keep cutting off like huge, like periods when he's speaking. I'm talking about Stormy B, man. I was just saying that Shane Mosley did use it, but he used it sparingly. But he didn't. He wasn't completely devoid of the jab. You can go back and watch his fights, even in the Oscar fight. Now he didn't use it enough, and I thought Oscar should have used his more. But he would at times double and triple up on the jab. He just didn't use it often. He would use it sparingly, and he should have used it more because he used it. It was very fast, and he was able to stymie his opponents. But he didn't use it that much. He used it sparingly, but he did use it.
But I have to say, Callie, in the day when he was fighting, like he didn't need to use it because he's more athletic than everybody else. But you fight like somebody like Mayweather, you fight like somebody like Mayweather, he wouldn't have that advantage.
Not at all.
So
Kelly,
I
give
think
Floyd this. One for Floyd for being such a short guy had unusually long arms, just like Terrence Crawford. Dude like 5'8" with 72-inch reach and 73-inch reach and stuff like that, man. Floyd had a 72-inch reach at that 5'8", man. That's pretty insane, actually.
So everyone kind of gave their take there. So let's move on because we have a whole tournament to get through here. But chat, go ahead and press 1 for Mayweather and press 2 for Mosley. Mosley needs a lot of votes in the chat to win this one, but you never know, right? Big lead for Mayweather right now. 1 Mayweather, 2 Mosley. Chief Funk says Mosley. Chief Funk feels like he would have caught Mayweather. Reggie Owens with a 1. AJ 10 with a 1. We got Stormy B-Man back on here. It says, what does it say? There we are. Okay, Maxilla says 2. And it's kind of, we got some Mosley votes here. A little bit of a debate with this one. Make sure you guys vote there. Another 1 and by D. Hodges. It's pretty clear that Mayweather's going to win this one, but it was definitely an interesting debate, right? Now let's go ahead and move on to this matchup, right? Julio Cesar Chavez, el gran campeón mexicano against Crawford, Terrence Crawford, Bud Crawford. This is some. Let's start with the Stormy B-Man. Are you there, bro?
I'm here. Can you hear me better now?
Yes, we could hear you. I was going to ask the panel, man. Everyone has a chance to go in the end when everybody speaks. I'll give you guys a chance if you have anything to say. That way, we're not speaking over each other. But go ahead, Stormy. How do you see this one, Chavez Crawford?
Very interesting fight. Takes me back to when Chavez fought Meldrick Taylor. Though Crawford didn't have Taylor like same type of matchup where you got these guys at that weight. I think because Crawford takes the chances of allowing himself to get hit from time to time, Chavez would be able to take control of the fight from him and could possibly break him down into either a late round, majority decision win, or even a possible a TKO, because Crawford, sometimes the chances that he takes, it takes an experienced fighter to exploit the flaws that are there. And Chavez had that ability. He had done it numerous times against various champions. And even when it came to if it was advantageous for Crawford to stay as orthodox and he chose to fight southpaw, Chavez had this sneaky little right hand lead that he would throw, and you couldn't. It was off rhythm. It was like hard to time it. I think Chavez would prevail in this fight.
Oh, let me get next. I want next. I want next.
Go ahead, Kelly.
Nah, I'm sticking with Julio Cesar Chavez. Junior Terrence Crawford stays in the pocket far too long. We also know that he's susceptible for overhand rights. He's also susceptible to be countered because he likes to stay in the pocket too long. And when he gets hit, his first reaction is to stand and trade. He wants to get that get back. He's not looking to get on the outside in the box after that. He has too much of a dog in him, and I think that Julio Cesar Chavez knocks out Terrence Crawford in 8 rounds.
Damn. All right. Kelly has Crawford on Chavez. So Curtis Sanderson. How do you see this matchup at lightweight, bro?
This is a very interesting fight. People kind of forget that Crawford can use his feet in box like he did against Postol. It wasn't an exciting fight, but people criticize him because he had that dog in him like Holyfield and other fighters. So he is disciplined to box. But Crawford is a good fighter, but Chavez was a great fighter, and that's the difference. Chavez is a master hitting you on the hip to stabilize you, and then he'll go to the body, throw that left hook to the body, which was ingenious. I know Chavez like the back of my hand. I used to watch him on the old Mexican channel called Galavision, and I remember he fought Mario Martinez, and I was telling all my friends in the boxing gyms at that time that we got a superstar when he comes to America. His name is Julio Cesar Chavez. It's ironic. That's what they used to call him, JC Superstar. His debut was against Roger Mayweather. But anyway, make a long story short, Chavez was one of the best pressure fighters I've ever seen. He would get to Crawford's body. Crawford would have his moments because Crawford is an outstanding fighter, but Chavez was a special fighter that you may never see again. And, Chavez knocks down Crawford a couple of times, bloody his nose. Crawford will fight gallantly, but it'll be Chavez by a wide unanimous decision.
All right, Big Dog Willie, how do you see it?
So I got Chavez in this one. Crawford, great skill, athletic, everything, but Chavez. I had to agree with the last three casts. Crawford gets himself into a lot of trouble sometimes. It's the dog in him, and he wants to I don't think he can at the end of a fight, 12th round, 11th round, 10th round, trade shots with Cesar Chavez. I think that's to be a mistake.
I mean, and to be real with you, Chavez is a pressure fighter. Crawford still, he's still fighting, he's still maturing, and he's still we haven't seen him go through the gauntlet of fighters like fighting Errol Spence and whoever, Thurman and Pacquiao. But Chavez have been with some giants, with some very skilled fighters, some of the best fighters in Norris, Norris and De La Hoya and
Chavez
Whitaker.
and Norris that never fight.
Huh?
You said Norris?
Norris.
Terry Norris?
He fought Terry Norris, didn't he?
No.
He didn't?
No.
Okay, I'm thinking of not Norris, but the guy he knocked down at the end of the fight.
Milton Taylor.
Taylor. My fault. Taylor. My fault. Yeah, he fought some dudes that I mean, there's cats. There's not too many cats right now that are at that level that are fighting right now. So I mean, Chavez got those cats on his resume. So I go with Chavez just on that. Crawford is a great fighter. I'm not like Crawford right now is probably like my favorite fighter. But I mean, Crawford has to show me more in this division. If he wipes out 147, gets a couple fights at 154, knocks a couple cats out there in that division. But Chavez has too much. He beat too many people at that weight class, and I think he just got too much heart. Don't get me wrong, Crawford's a dog, but I don't know. I mean, this is hard to call, but I mean, because Crawford's more athletic. I do put athleticism in this debate, but Chavez just, when it comes to skill level, I had to give it to Chavez.
All right, that's 10 for Chavez. Let me just say this as clearly as I possibly can. Chavez will beat Crawford's ass, and I like Crawford, okay? He would beat his ass. I don't care if, I hear a lot of, well, Crawford likes to slug it out. I don't care how Crawford fights. At some point, he's going to break him down. Okay, if he wants to stand and trade, Chavez gets him out by the mid-rounds. If he wants to box smart, Chavez gets him out there late in the fight. I got Chavez winning this fight. At 135, that's how I see it. And Chavez at 135 is just better than the Chavez at 140. So that's how I see that one, right? So that's it under all circumstances. I like Crawford, but, your winner over what's that British dude's name again?
Ricky Burns?
Ricky Burns?
Ricky Burns, yeah. Ricochet Burns, I called him, right? I mean, guys like Ricky Burns just isn't going to do it for me. You know what I mean? And that's the way I see it. But with that said, Chavez advances, but just for the fun of it. Maybe the chat has a shitload of votes for Crawford. I don't know, but 1 for Chavez, 2 for Crawford. Go ahead and put it in the chat. All right.
Can I say this? Chavez knocks out everybody on Terrence Crawford's resume. Everyone.
That's a fact.
Nah, Ricky Burns
was a fact.
Bro. What do you mean? Not playing. Yeah, but 1. Going to put 1 for Chavez, 2 for Crawford, and we're going to go ahead and move on because I'm just curious what you guys think, but it's really not. Okay, we could move on to Jesus wins. So Nick, okay, let's just do it for the fun of it. Okay, Kurt, Robert Guerrero, the Ghost at 135 against Esteban de Jesus at 135.
I like De Jesus over Guerrero. Like I said, De Jesus underrated. Good power, not great power. Does everything well. Doesn't do one thing special. Does everything well. Guerrero is an okay fighter, but De Jesus all-around skill level will prevail by unanimous decision.
Right. Stormy, how do you see it? I feel like I don't have to ask, but I'm asking anyway.
Well, De Jesus would break Guerrero down and beat him up pretty badly. He just had too much for Guerrero. Guerrero fight one way, De Jesus would beat him best him at the best way that Guerrero could fight. Again, we're talking about a fighter from an era where technique, boxing ability, and everything, it really meant something. Exploiting someone's weaknesses, whether it's exposing the body, it's exposing the chin, lapse in focus. That's a fighter who was fighting in the thick of things, and at a high level. So, yeah, I'm sorry, but the ghost goes out in this one.
Maxilla thinks we're tripping. This is what he said. He said, Guerrero with the outside, boxing game, jab, straight game, uppercuts. Dude, Maxilla is Ruben Guerrero, bro. I just figured it out. Callie, how do you see it?
Okay, there we go. This thing know the one to unmute sometimes, man. No, of course, I'm going to go with the guy from the Bayless plan. I'm rooting for Robert Guerrero, but yeah, dude, Jesus, he wins. Unfortunately,
what happened with that?
I'm rolling with the Bay. I'm going to be rooting for Guerrero, but I gotta pick the Jesus to win. Sorry, just no one on Guerrero's record at the 135 is even on the caliber of the Jesus that the Jesus destroys Guerrero, unfortunately. And yeah, we're throwing shit at him after the fight. So, but that's the way I have it, man. I just don't see how the Robert Guerrero matching up with the Jesus at all. I just don't see it. Esteban de Jesus beats him up. I don't know if he stops him, but I think he'll at least beat him up, bust him up real good. And I'll go with a decision, something like 10 rounds or 2 or something like that. Easy decision for Esteban. Easy decision for Esteban de Jesus.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
All right. And how do you see it, Big Dog Willie?
I go Guerrero by first round knockout.
Okay. All right.
No, I'm just fucking with you. No, no, I got De Jesus in 8 rounds. KO, TKO, easy.
Yo, Ruben Guerrero says his son wins by knockout, bro. Right? So, by the way, Hispanics Causing Pan is coming back on Wednesday next week. I think I know who's going to be baby nuts of the week. This whole panel, bro. But look, man, I got De Jesus winning this one. I think he knocks out Guerrero, man, with the left hook. The same one he caught Duran with and dropped him. I think he catches him, drops him, puts him away, and it's a wrap. All right.
And can I say something to Maxilla real quick? Maxilla, I think you're absolutely tripping. Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. destroys Benavidez, bro. I'm sorry about that, man.
Oh yeah,
Jose Benavidez on one leg. He annihilates that dude, bro. Probably within the first half of the fight, bro. I'm being dead ass serious too.
And who's even talking about Jose Benavidez anyway?
How did it even come up? How did it even come up?
No, Maxilla said I was talking about Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. knocks out everybody on Terrence Crawford's resume, and Maxilla was like, "No, I don't know about." I don't know about Benavidez. So like, please.
Oh, that's the first. That's yeah.
He said the size problems. I don't give a fuck, bro. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen, bro. And I wish we can make that fight happen, because I'm telling you, what's gonna happen. You're gonna get broken down and stop, bro.
Well, either way, so with that said, De Jesus will advance. With that, okay, let me get the brackets ready. While I do that here, I'm kind of curious, as far as matchup wise. So Crawford at 135 or Castillo? Just really quick. Callie, who do you think would have won that fight?
Hold on, repeat that again. I missed it.
Let's say it was Chavez. Let's say it was Jose Luis. While I update the bracket, right. Castillo, Jose Luis Castillo, or Crawford?
Ooh, that's another one, man. Man, that's another. We saw how it looked with Floyd. Man, I'm going Jose Luis Castillo. Once again, it's just He's fought better competition, man. I'm sorry. That matters to me. I need to see him fight somebody on that level. No one on Terrence Crawford's resume is on the level of Jose Luis Castillo. And Jose Luis Castillo gave Floyd Mayweather a tough fight, or you could say 2 tough fights. And he also fought Diego Chico Corrales and a whole slew of other fighters. I'm sorry, but I'm going Jose Luis Castillo, bro. For real, I'm going Jose Luis Castillo by knockout, bro.
A knockout.
That's why by knockout.
Man, Curtis Sanderson, Castillo or Crawford, who would have won that in your bracket?
I have to go the other way because people, like Castillo neutralized Floyd, and I hate to bring up injuries. I really do because I don't like that. But Floyd had a bad rotator cuff shoulder. That's why he rematched him again. He just couldn't penetrate Castillo's defense. But when you look at Floyd, and I'm tie everything together, there was another fighter he fought. I think it was Tony Pep, and another fighter where he couldn't penetrate him, and he didn't look great. Castillo is a fighter that can look good on one night and not so good the next night because you have to look at his whole career. He fought Stevie Johnson. I believe he fought Bison. Stevie Johnson gave him problems. Maybe Castillo was up for the Floyd fight. Every fight is different, has its own personality, and energy. But we can't dismiss Crawford as a middle of the road fighter. This guy is a fantastic fighter, man. He really is. And, he hasn't fought top level competition. Even though it's at another weight, you can still judge him because of the skill level of his opponent. But I'll study that Khan fight, and a lot of my friends in the gym was like, oh, no, this is a trap fight. Amir Khan might outbox him. Nobody outboxes Amir Khan. He intimidated Amir Khan with his skill level. People don't catch that. Crawford, I'm telling you, when he boxes, because he has a lot of dog in him, but he respected Victor Posto. Posto was the boogeyman. Even Danny Garcia ducked him. He made Posto look like an amateur, and Posto hasn't been the same since. But Crawford has terrific boxing skills, and we criticize him for having that dog in him, but I like it. I like that he has that old school thing in him. I like when a fighter gets knocked down, get up, and take his game to the next level like he did Kavakakis, or the Cuban guy he fought. He got hurt and he came back, and it's just been a bunch of fights that, he seems to raise his level when he gets hit, like Lundy and Felix Diaz. He can raise his level, and I like that in a fighter. That's a quality that the new fighters don't have. I think Canelo has it, and I think Lomachenko has it. That's why I got a 1, 2, and 3. But I like Crawford to beat Castillo because I'm watching Castillo in my head right now fight Stevie Johnson and Cesar Bazan, and he had trouble with them a lot. I believe Stevie Johnson beat him one time. I forgot about that fight. It was a draw, okay. There were 2 great fights.
That's what I'll say. And we need to see Terrence Crawford against Errol Spence. That all this whole thing could be revisited once he fights a top competition. He just hasn't done it. It doesn't look like he's going to be fighting anybody on that level anytime soon. I mean, unless he could, if he fight, I want to see how he looks. If he could find a way to get Sean Porter in the ring or somebody like that, and if he was to whoop someone like that, then I could come back and revisit this. But as of now, I mean, we're talking about Posto. Posto gave Josh Taylor problems, man. Gave Josh Taylor all kind of problems. So, Josh, Posto's supposed to be fighting Jose Ramirez. So we'll see how Posto looks. He's definitely older. I'm expecting. I know it may be a lot, but I'm expecting Jose Ramirez to stop Posto in the later rounds in that fight. But You know what I mean? That's what I expect from Jose Ramirez. I think very highly of him now.
I hear you, Kelly. And how do you see that hypothetical matchup storming Jose Luis Castillo versus Crawford?
I'm more interested in seeing the matchup that Big Dog Willie was talking about a moment ago in the chat there. He said his girlfriend came into his office with bra and panties on with her girlfriend talking about a threesome. Sorry, I have to end this early. I hope you understand.
Whoa, I'm not mad at you at all.
That's the comment of the night right there. But anyway.
Hey, Menage a trois over boxing any day.
So I don't want to see you comment.
I'd be like, fuck boxing at that point.
Salute to Big Dog Willie, man.
Oh, wait, don't show up in 5 minutes. Okay, guys, I'm done.
Hey, somebody hit with 5 minutes. You talking about didn't even like bust before he even get a chance to do something? That'd be fucking hilarious.
But let's go ahead and move on, guys.
Listen, this is what I have to say, man.
Yeah, go ahead.
Castillo was a sparring partner for Chavez, but he wasn't Julio Cesar Chavez. Bud Crawford boxes circles around this guy and possibly stops him in maybe the 9th or 10th round, maybe the 11th at the latest. But I do figure a stoppage in there because with Castillo being able to find himself frustrated with Bud giving angles, getting in and out, switching back and forth, and exploiting some weaknesses that were there. The thing about Bud also, he could take it to another level. Even though we haven't seen him fight some of the guys presently that people want to see him fight, that doesn't take away from what's there, that's in his toolbox, what he's capable of doing. I believe Bud is every bit as capable of fighting up to the quality of opposition. If you want to raise the bar, I think he can go there. And there's not a lot of fighters in professional boxing today that can do that. He's one of the few. But against a guy like Castillo, he could make it an exciting fight. But if at the end of the day, he would shut Castillo down. Okay. And he's much mentally stronger. Castillo broke when he saw Diego Corrales continue to get up and everything. And that's why Diego was able to come back in that fight, because Diego's confidence never wavered. The fight in him never wavered. And Castillo got tired. He's like, dang, I'm knocking the guy down. You know, so it's like what Bud would do the same. And Bud was much more skilled than Diego Corrales, but probably had a similar heart. We have to see it tested, but I'm almost 100% in confidence that he does have that. He has that reservoir to tap into, and it's going to take quality fighters like Porter and Spence to bring that out. And once that happens, then what will people say? They're going to have to come up with something else after that.
Will he be too old by then, though? And will his reflex of it slip more? That's the question.
Well, Big Dog Willie had to redeem himself after that Chavez beat Norris comment, though. So he can that one. But
the threesome beats any botch that he said during this whole live stream. I'm sorry. He won. He won everything tonight. He won everything tonight.
Let's go ahead and proceed here, gentlemen. We got Battle Rifles on here. How's it going, Battle Rifles?
How you doing, D-Style? How y'all doing, Callie, Stormy, and Kurt Sugar? How y'all doing?
Hey, Battle Rifle, what's going on, brother?
How's it going,
Not much.
guys? We're basically in the semifinals here of this bracket, and then we're gonna do the final after that. Look at these matches, by the way. Holy shit. Okay. Kurt Sugar, Alexis Arguello versus Mayweather Jr., both at 135. Who do you got?
That's a terrible matchup for Alexis Arguello. It couldn't get worse for Alexis, man. You know, and I love Alexis Arguello, watching him for so many years, but Mayweather, he's too stiff, you know, too one-dimensional. He has a straight right hand that he depends on, and that's not enough. You know, I go by what I see, man. And I wouldn't ask for an autograph. If I see Mayweather on the streets, I wouldn't even say nothing to him. You know, this is strictly in the ring. I say that because sometimes we like a fighter so much we let our emotions get in the way of judgment. But I want to say when you have a fighter who has masterful footwork, can go left to right, backwards, forward, a master counterpuncher. Emmanuel Stewart said that Floyd Mayweather was the smartest fighter he ever seen in his life. And this guy been in boxing for decades upon decades. It's hard, man. And ring IQ. So just imagine all those attributes, physical and he's been hurt, never been knocked down. Well, the Carlos Hernandez has broke his hand, and Zab Judikin been called knocked down. You know, so he has an underrated chin because Mosley knocked people out with that punch. All that being said, I like Mayweather by easy unanimous decision. You know, because when Aguero fought Pryor, if you look at that fight closely, when Pryor had success, he bounced on his toes. You know, plus he was being outboxed by Billy Costello, but he wound up knocking him out because he timed him with that right hand. But that's Billy Costello. We're talking about Mayweather or Aaron Pryor. He had success with Aaron Pryor when Aaron Pryor stood in front of him. But when Aaron Pryor decided to use footwork, then that's when the problems came in, you know. And I see Mayweather winning by a wide unanimous decision.
Hello? I don't know if I don't. Maybe it's on my end.
Hello?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
everything.
still here. I can hear you.
Okay, I just want to make sure everything went so quiet. That's why I was trying to make sure whether me. I guess I'll go next then. I actually agree with you, Kurt.
I was on mute, but go ahead.
Okay. Yes, I agree with Kurt. This is the fight where Floyd can either pitch a shutout, win 11 rounds to 1, 10 rounds to 2. His ability to, especially when he was Pretty Boy Floyd, he did have the ability to fight on the outside, use a lot of angles, put together combinations whenever he needed to. And if he needed to, he could pot shot on the outside as well and hit and not be hit. And Floyd is also an excellent counterpuncher. He'd have Alexis Guerrero frustrated. Wouldn't be surprised if he quit on his stool due to frustration, or if Floyd found a way to even stop him late. But I'm going to go with a late round. I'm going to go with a late round. I'm going to go with a 12-round decision. 11 rounds to 1, Floyd Mayweather over Alexis Aguel. No disrespect to him, but yeah, from a styles make fights, and this is a terrible matchup for Alexis Aguel. I just don't see this being very competitive.
All right, that's 10 points from Curtis, 10 points from Kelly, and Stormy B-Man. How do you see this matchup?
Well, this is another one of those fights that Mayweather would look his best because the opponent does not have enough to keep up with what he has to offer. I could see this fight going a lot like the fight when Floyd won his first title against Gennaro Hernandez. He made Hernandez quit. Hernandez was like, you know what? I can't do nothing with this kid. I can't do nothing with it. I could see Aguero doing the same exact thing because Floyd has so much more talent than what we saw from Pryor. And Pryor made him quit from, attrition and everything. But Floyd would make him quit from talent and ability, just otherworldly levels that Aguero hadn't seen. And up to that point when he had fought Pryor, there was not a Floyd Mayweather out there like that. So I could see him quitting on his stool as well. Callie kind of took that before I could say it, but it wouldn't surprise me one bit if Aguero just kind of took a seat and said, hey, I'm sorry, I can't go with this kid. He's got too much for me. So that's the way I see it. Floyd easy. in a TKO stoppage way before the 12th round. So it could be middle to late, but it'll be before 12. He quit.
Right, there you go. And battle rifles, how do you have it, man? Alexis Arguello versus Mayweather.
I got Floyd here too. Alexis Arguello was a terrific fighter. I think personally he just wasn't a guy that was.
You said he wasn't a terrific fighter. He wasn't.
He was.
No, he wasn't.
Okay, I thought you said he wasn't. Okay.
He wasn't. He wasn't like a guy that was really like. Well, in a sense, he wasn't silly. Like in a sense, tailored to fighting people that were, much movers. Don't get me wrong, he was a great counterpunch. He stayed on his toes, and but his best fights against people are against that are going to, in a sense, be right. In a sense, they have enough ability to move, but at the same time, they're going to get caught in the bravado of the match and then lose because they're not going to outpunch Arguello because he hits too hard, or his combinations are a little bit more crisper, like Ruben Oliveras or even Ray Boom Boom Mancini. So I think the one big thing that's going to be one big telling part is that because Arguello has such a blocking style, he doesn't prefer like to slip or fade back. He usually has his hands up and kind of like Marlon Starling, how he likes to slip and ride punches. I think Mayweather is going to find out early that he can just simply throw a punch and then fall into a clinch like Pryor started doing, or he's just going to simply just hook off the jab. Use that hand to keep Arguello from countering. Of course, I think he's going to clip for it a good bit. I think he's going to clip for it like a couple of times though. He hits really hard. I think he knows when the shot is there to be hit. So he's going to clip him a couple of times, but it's not going to be enough. I think Floyd will still win, but it won't be so much that he's just dominating them. That's like to the point that everybody said that was just a whitewash. I think he's just going to smack Floyd hard enough to everybody will be like, oh my God, like Floyd's hurt. But of course, he's not really going to be hurt. It's just we surprised that he got hit. So something like that. But he still will win.
Okay. I think Mayweather boxes Arguello 8-4. I think a little too slick for Arguello, in my opinion. I'm trying to find I can't find a comment here that I wanted to showcase, but it is what it is. I do want to ask, though, really quick, I just want to ask this to Stormy, who pretty much had Arguello running away with it with Pacquiao and Marquez. Stormy, how would you have seen Alexis Arguello against Mosley if hypothetically Mosley moved on?
That would have been an interesting fight because he would be able to throw the straight punches against Mosley. Remember, Mosley was fast, but he's a roundhouse puncher who didn't really use a jab. And again, with his IQ and experience, he might be able to expose that. It's much different from what Floyd has to offer, because Floyd was a whole different talent, fought a whole different way and everything. But remember, fighters like Mosley, they have to be planted to get those shots off and to be effective. So Arguello could play that game. He could play that game with Mosley. He could adjust to the speed with timing, and timing can beat speed. So it's like, that's where boxing IQ would come in. When I can't help but look at how Vernon Flores was able to defeat Shane. It wasn't a surprise. It wasn't nothing spectacular because Vernon boxed. Floyd was looking to, Mosley was looking to slug. He was looking, that's just fast power slugging. That's all that is. But when you're in there with someone who's technically refined, they can use that against you. So it becomes something like that, And remember, Floyd was a technical fighter. So it's like, that's not the same thing, putting him in against Arguello as opposed to Mosley in against Arguello. Arguello would have opportunity. Could Shane take that right hand? We don't know. He kind of did dipsy doos when, he got hit on his chin as well. So it'd be interesting. But I'd give Alexis, maybe a 51-49 edge, something like that, because Shane was powerful, and he would have to be able to take something and set his defense to be able to time him and catch him coming in or something like that.
Definitely. All right, guys, press 1 for Alexis, 2 for Mayweather in the chat. We're going to go ahead and proceed to the next matchup. Julio Cesar Chavez versus Esteban de Jesus. Curtis Anderson, how do you see this one, bro?
Well, De Jesus was the underdog in the tournament. He was the dark horse, but the fat lady done sung already, and this is where De Jesus gets eliminated. De Jesus, underrated fighter. Chavez, a great fighter. That's the difference. Once again, Chavez just a better all-around fighter. One of the great pressure fighters in boxing history. He breaks down De Jesus and stops him in the 11th or 12th round. So I got Chavez by late round TKO over Esteban de Jesus.
Okay, so that's one for Chavez. Stormy B-Man, how do you see it, bro? See a moment. I think
I'm sorry. I'm trying to come off mute, guys. Sorry about that.
Right.
I see this fight. I agree with Kurt. This is the kind of fight reminiscent of Chavez and Jose Luis Ramirez. It would be a fight of attrition where De Jesus would try to be brave in there and everything, but Chavez, with the chin that he had, being able to take whatever the opponent had to offer, but also at the same time breaking the guy down with tremendous body shots, that sneaky straight lead right hand, the left hook to the liver, and just overall the pressure wearing the opponent down. I see Chavez prevailing again in the late rounds, like Kurt said. It's because he's like a wave just coming at you constantly that just wears you down in the end. So I agree, Chavez with a TKO late round stoppage in this one against Esteban.
Absolutely, man. Chicano Prophet says, I hope Camacho survives enough tomorrow to get taken out by a Mexican. All right. Man. All right, man. Kelly, how do you see it? De Jesus against Julio Cesar Chavez. Mexico versus Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I got the Mexican winning, man. I watched Julio Cesar Chavez. He throws beautiful hooks to the liver, man. One thing about Chavez, Senior, man, is what I've watched him with his ability, especially if a guy wanted to move. He has the ability to step to the right to keep his outside foot on the outside of his opponent, and that's why he was such a master of cutting off the ring. Really good at cutting off the ring and cornering his opponent to the corner or on the ropes, and doing a lot of good work. He'll also do a lot of good work in the middle of the ring as well. I do not see De Jesus standing up to the body work. I think he methodically breaks him down and he stops him. I mean, that's just what he did to pretty much most of his opponents. He's an absolute killer, a fucking machine, bro. Julio Cesar Chavez was a machine. That's what he was. He would come in there, seek and destroy. He knew what to target, and he would work those areas over and over and over again until you start to slow down, till you start to break down. You may want at one point, which you'll see, even the guys want to stand and trade with them, they become movers, and then and within a few rounds, they're right there in front of them. So at some point, if you can move, or if you it doesn't matter whatever ability you have, he's going to take that away from you. He's going to break you down to the point where he's going to have you where he wants you to be, right in front of him, beating the shit out of you, trying to bend to your will, trying to break you down. Either you're going to quit, or he's going to force the referee to stop it, or he's just going to stop you. Those are your options. Those are the choices that he gives you. I just don't see the Jesus getting out of 8 rounds, 8 or 7 to 8 rounds, man. It tops for this fight, man. I think he's gonna start breaking them down early, not late. He's gonna start breaking them down immediately, and it's gonna take its toll, man. You're getting fucking brutalized to the body, to the hips. Over and over and over to the chest for 4 rounds, just straight brutal shots, hard shots, repetitive shots, over and over and over, and punch placement, beautiful punch placement as well. I like Chavez, man. I like Chavez.
Let me do something really quick. I'm not sure if this is him or not, but let's find out. What's up, bro? Who is this? Why are you on mute? Who is this? State your name. It's some loser that
Wow.
put the name BFTB on there. Okay.
Wow.
All right. That's who that is. But
Wow.
It is what it is.
I don't understand. I mean, dude, we're having a serious boxing talk. I don't understand why people want to be. I mean, why you want to be a little bitch? I don't get it. I don't understand you dudes, man. Like I said, this is what I have for you. I got something for you. Go meet a woman. Go meet a woman. I promise you. Meet a woman. Have fun with her. You will be disinterested in trolling. I promise you. If you get a woman, you'll lose all interest in trolling. I promise you. It feels good, bro. It does. That feeling will it'll take up you won't want to do that no more. I'm just telling you.
Right. Well, that is that. Okay, look at this dude. He's still on there, bro. What's up, EJ?
Yo, what's going on, bro? What's happening? What are we talking about? We're talking about lightweights now, yeah? What's up, the rest? What's up, the panel? What's up, Kelly? What's up, the rest of the panel, man? What's up, Battle?
What's up, EJ? What's going on, man?
How's it going?
Yeah, man. Yo, man, I just saw the link early in the morning over here. Early in the morning.
Yeah, man, we were talking, Chavez versus De Jesus. We kind of moved on from that, but you're definitely in the final, EJ. But I want to chat one for the actually, Battle. You didn't go, did you?
Oh no, I think it's definitely a competitive fight. De Jesus could take some punishment. You could see that with the Duran trilogy, and I kind of actually see this as De Jesus trying to prove something to Chavez because Chavez is the one usually being the bull. So I think it's going to be like Curtis said. It's probably going to be in my opinion, a late round stoppage, which De Jesus coming after Chavez because I think Chavez could actually fight off the ropes as well. Like he done it, on numerous occasions. Like he done it against who was it? Mario Martinez, I think. So yeah, he can fight off the ropes. So I think I would give this to Chavez as well.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Look at this dude. He ain't get this dude don't got a life, bro. Right? But anyway, he's still on here, bro. Okay, go create another account. I want him banned. He could go create another account like a loser he is and come back.
He said he likes men. That's why he's trying to come here, bro. But we don't like men. We don't not in the way you do.
You know what the sad part is? Like you're such a pussy. You won't even show your face, right? You're such a you won't show your face. That's how much of a pussy you are. Okay, but we're moving on. All right. Give me a 1 for Chavez, 2 for Jesus, and the chat's putting a bunch of 1s, just like that. Okay. That's right, Chicano. You won't even say any word. What type of a loser comes to a boxing conversation? Okay, because I don't know what the hell's going on. But anyway, all right. We're gonna go ahead and move on here. I have this ready. Let me get it ready. Actually, give me 1 second, guys. Apologize.
He said that he said he likes hanging out with men like Boy George. That's what he said.
But with that said, we are moving on, right? We're moving on, and EJ, you just came on, bro. This is the bracket, all right?
All right.
the final of this bracket, and we'll face the winner of tomorrow's bracket. All right. Floyd Mayweather versus Julio Cesar Chavez, JCC Superstar, el León de Cuculcán, el gran campeón mexicano. Who do you got?
Oh man, Floyd struggles at Floyd at lightweight. Floyd, you know, had problem with his sparring partner, Castillo, isn't it? At lightweight, first in, man, that's a hard fight, man. That's a hard fight for Floyd, bro. Because that Chavez, a little pressure. I can only go by what Floyd performances at lightweight. You know what I mean? I know Floyd overall, but you know, Floyd when he fought at lightweight, he did struggle with him in split decision. I did beat him in the rematch though. Yeah, Chavez was bad at, but it was pretty good at lightweight. It's pretty good at lightweight. That's a hard one, isn't it? Prime. I'll go with Chavez on that one, man. I'll go with Chavez. Chavez by split decision.
All right, Chavez by decision. EJ puts his vote in. Let's go with Stormy B-Man. How do you see it, bro?
Well, in a fight where both of these guys were probably at their best at that particular weight, EJ select probably about as close to realistic as it could get here, because we know that Chavez built a reputation of finishing dudes off, but this would be someone I don't think he could finish Floyd off, so it would have to go to the distance. But with Floyd, would his hands hold up in this fight, because it was at lightweight where he was really having hand problems as well too, big time. Wow, I could see it being a split decision or a majority decision draw. And that's not to take away from Floyd. It's just that Chavez was so much more at that weight as well. It's a very good matchup. Very good matchup. So I'm just gonna play devil's advocate and be, you know, I'll put it as a draw for these two guys. Someone else may come up with something better, but that's what I have at the time.
We'll come back to you, Stormy. Any of the panel can always say, you know, come back to me if you guys want, by the way. Curtis Sanderson at lightweight. Pretty Boy Floyd versus Chavez. How do you see it?
It's a very good fight. You know, I sit around the house washing dishes and laying in bed breaking down fantasy fights. I've been doing it for decades. I'm pretty good at it. Listen, you know, I've seen Chavez seem like my whole life. You know, I told, you know, people about him. I knew what kind of impact he was going to have on boxing. You know, same with Mayweather. I know him as an amateur. And a lot of people don't know that he used to outbox Pernell Whitaker in sparring, you know, at the age of 16, 17. You know, I say this. How do you beat a guy who has footwork, defense, counterpunching, and more importantly, ring IQ? He has all the intangibles, well-conditioned, everything. He has all the intangibles. You know, I've seen fighters like Muhammad Ali and Sugar Ray Leonard, you know, but Floyd is cut from that cloth when you talk about talent. I look years for weaknesses, and the only ones I can come up, and somebody said, who would give Floyd or beat Floyd? They asked me, beat Floyd, you know, and from 147, 154, and this has nothing to do with weight. It's just that he happens to be at that weight. And I said, oh, it was a guy by the name of Ronald Winky Wright. To beat Floyd, you have to be long, lean, big, with a repetitive, stinging jab and great defense. That's what Winky Wright had. That's why he beat the hell out of Mosley. I thought he beat Bernard Hopkins, and I thought he beat Jermaine Taylor. But like, I like the tie-in stuff. Chavez had problems with Mildred Taylor. Mildred Taylor, too much heart, low ring IQ. He made it easy for Chavez to rally and come back and steal that fight and win. All he had to do was stay away the last round. All he had to do was get his combinations off and don't wait for the receipt. He was in punching range. And that's why Chavez broke bones in his face and Taylor wasn't the same. Now, when he fought somebody with better boxing ability and a high ring IQ, Pernell Whitaker, we knew that wasn't a draw. We knew that. And if you have footwork, you can beat Chavez, but it has to be ring IQ as well. And that's a tough fight. But I'm going to have to say Mayweather because of the footwork. And Mayweather in this tournament is the smartest fighter. You always go with the smartest fighter. But Mayweather has a lot. And beating 26 world champions and going 50-0. And Chavez was great. I know him like the back of my hand, I should say. But Mayweather's style, his footwork, ring IQ would prevail in a tough fight, maybe 7 rounds to 5, 8 rounds to 4, because Floyd would respect Chavez. So he would move. Floyd respects, when Floyd moves around the ring, that means he respects him. Like he respected Diego Corrales. He moved, one of his very best fights. So I like Floyd at 135 to beat Chavez in a tough fight, but Mayweather moves on.
Okay. I want next.
Go ahead, Kelly.
Yeah, I agree with what Kurt just said, but I want to put something else. I want to ask something else. Let's talk about the 5.5. I mean, the 5.5-inch reach advantage that go along with the IQ, the foot speed, the hand speed, the defense, the counter punching. That right there. The whole idea for Floyd Mayweather would not really be to mix up as many combinations. He would probably. I could see Floyd, pot shotting, Chavez majority of the fight. He has to. He cannot engage in trading with Chavez. That's just dangerous. I mean, Chavez would have some success, but I do think the fight will look somewhat like the Whitaker fight, and I'll have Floyd. I have Floyd winning 8 rounds 4. I think Floyd. I do. I think Floyd Floyd would definitely take advantage of that reach advantage. He's going to force that fight to be on the outside. He'll do a good job of staying off the ropes, and when he's on the ropes, we've seen Floyd have the ability to counter off the ropes, and Floyd has proven that he hits hard enough, not to necessarily to drop you, but hits hard enough to get the respect of his opponent, to at least slow his opponent down, to make his opponent, second guess whether they want to come in and try to just let the hands go. So I think he can earn the respect of Chavez. I don't think he can, drop Chavez or really, really hurt him badly, but I think he can get Chavez's respect with the power that he has, especially at 135. 130, 135, Floyd had power. So I think that with the ability to move around the ring, and at times when he gets caught in the corner on the ropes, Floyd also has the ability to pivot out of the corner quickly with his footwork, if need be. But Floyd also, when he wants to take a break, at times would use the ropes to counter off of and inviting you in and looking to take advantage of. But one thing Floyd does better than most boxers that I've seen, he protects his body well, not just his head. You don't really see too many body shots landing on Floyd. He does a really good job of holding his forearm down low and shrinking his torso to make it harder to land body shots, and also shrinking his body to make body shots. I mean, to make it harder to land body shots. That's impressive, especially for somebody who's a savage beast of a body attacker in the way that Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. is. So, respect to Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., but I got Floyd Mayweather, man.
You got Mayweather.
Decision.
All right.
But decision.
All All right, battle rifles. How do you see it, bro?
Yeah, I know I say this a lot, competitive fight, but this is a really, really tough one. I watch, most of Floyd's fights. I watch most of Chavez's fights, and Chavez. I will say this, like, I've been saying this for years, and I'm gonna keep saying it. He is one of the smartest pressure fighters I've ever seen. Like, I have never seen people, outsmart people like on the back foot more than I've seen Chavez do it. Like, you know, uh, maybe okay, let me take that back. Maybe the only fighter I've seen is probably Henry Armstrong, but I've never seen somebody just throw a punch, get up under that person's punches at the time they counter, and then come back on the other side and come back with a hook or with a right hand. And I almost never see that. Usually a person, they come in, they fall short, and they fall into a punch, or they usually roll into a shot, or they throw a punch and they end up taking a 6-punch combination. But not with Chavez, though. He knew how to move his head. He knew how to, feint his way in. He didn't just walk his way in. He would keep his legs in a bouncing motion to where it's to the point where you can get countered at any time, but you're always going to fall short with your jab, because he never just let you just sit there and jab him the whole time. So, Floyd at 135, that was around the time where, he had the, questionable decision against Castillo. Now, I personally thought he lost that fight. And I thought he lost the fight because I saw, Luis Castillo land more punches, at the end, and, landed more clean, effective shots. So when I seen Floyd, don't get me wrong, I thought he was doing a good job. And, despite, whether he had the shoulder injury, he came back and he beat Castillo decisively. So I was thinking to myself, like, man, like, Castillo is, really the poor man's Chavez. And, despite how many rounds he fought with him, he could never measure up. And, I spent lots and lots of time watching those fights, going back and realizing what is the key to, like, actually, what Castillo did, what was so effective with him. And I think what was so effective was the same reason Marcos Maidana had success, is that, Julio Cesar Chavez can change levels so good, like, because Floyd, he generally doesn't like when people just, faint down below and try to hit him on the top of the head. Of course, he fights with his hands at mid-level. And that's the reason why Marcos Maidana had so much success against him, because he would change levels, almost hinting that he was going to throw overhand right. And Floyd, instead of just, like, riding the shot like he normally does, he knows there's a chance he can get hit the top of the head. So he usually just steps back and resets. And that was the reason why Castillo had so much success. And with Julio Cesar Chavez being one of the few punchers that has just such an amazing offense, being up on you like pillar to post, not just somebody just throwing, punches from just throwing punches just to land, or just throwing punches without rhythm or without reason. No, he actually threw punches to set up other shots. And, what Floyd did usually with those type of fighters, he didn't just, like, roll off shots like what we see against Philip Endall. Like, if guys were calculated punchers, he'll usually, wrap them up what I like to call sticky punches. Instead of bringing his hands back in a normal motion, what you see with what trainers teach you to do, he'll throw a shot and then let his hands, stay attached to you. So if you want to throw a punch, you have to make space, because now his gloves on your face. So I actually thought about this fight a long, long time. And I saw myself, like, Julio Cesar Chavez, even with Meldrick Taylor, I think that he was ready to, fight another round. He in some moments he looked kind of, this guy can fight. This guy can actually, throw some leather. But even then, I think that he had the heart to stay in the pocket with Meldrick Taylor. So, yeah, the body jab will be there. Some of the lead, left hands, the lead rights will be there. But I think I'm going to edge. Sorry about that. I'm taking a long time. I think I'm going to pick Julio Cesar Chavez for this one. And I'm not saying that Floyd can't come back in rematches, but I think, Chavez can edge one out.
Okay. All right. Thanks for that breakdown, bro. Stay put, chat. I just want to say this and just a couple of things, right? So I get the whole, like, Mayweather's IQ and the arm length and athleticism. I just got to say this. Dude got brittle hands, bro. Okay. I saw this dude hurt his hand in fights sometimes, and that's something I never hear, right? Now, Chavez is going to pressure him, right? Chavez is going to make this guy throw more than he wants, right? He's going to have to land leather on Chavez, and that's a lot of bone, okay? And a lot of those shots are going to be blocked through the guard. Chavez is going to pressure Mayweather. He's not going to respect his power. I just don't see it, right? And now the question is, can Floyd box him on the move? Because they know what this dude ain't going to get on the ropes with his shoulder roll. He ain't going to do that against Chavez, right? He's going to have to move around the ring, box Chavez, and pot shot him to win. That's the only way he could win. He's not going to knock Chavez out. He's not going to hurt Chavez. If someone in the panel thinks he could hurt Chavez, I would like to hear it, right? The uppercuts, someone mentioned it in the chat. Absolutely. Mayweather can definitely land uppercuts. But Chavez's head movement, the way he would glide in the ring at lightweight, I got to be honest, man, I don't think Mayweather ever fought a force like that. Okay? And he could have the arm length. He could have all he wants. He can make guys like Jesus Chavez look ordinary if he wants. Okay? But I'm telling you, man, I feel Chavez wins that fight. I do believe it's close, but I'm definitely going to go with Chavez here. Stormy, you've heard everyone give their take. You've kind of heard all the arguments. Are you ready to make a pick?
Yes.
Okay.
After having a chance to listen to everyone and then playing this fight in my head, actually, I had never really even thought about these two guys fighting outside of the time that I saw Castillo fight Floyd, and how I thought that Castillo was no Chavez, but still gave Floyd some trouble in their first fight. And the second fight was competitive, even though Floyd won unanimously. But Castillo is no Chavez. And now that I've had a chance to really go over it in my head or whatever, I want to say this about Julio Cesar Chavez. Julio Cesar Chavez, like certain fighters that we've seen, from different styles or whatever, when they call a fighter special, they say like, Floyd was special, Well, Chavez was special. And special fighters have a way of pulling things out sometimes. They could be losing up until the last minute, just like he was with Meldrick Taylor, and a fatal flaw, boom, and next thing you know, Chavez is the victor. I could see that happening in this fight, but not in the same manner. I see it happening in the manner of which Floyd could be outboxing him, looking good, and then suddenly Chavez gets in some kind of shot to the body. Now he's wounded, and it's like he starts to come on, and then he's like, debilitation, in fighting, because he was very adept at that and could take a shot very well. So if Floyd can't keep him off with power, he could hit him on the hips enough and everything to slow the movement down just to be able to be on top of the guy. And like I said, he had this great lead right hand that he could shoot. But Chavez would use a jab too. Many people remember him doing the body work and everything, but he would work to get inside. He wouldn't just bull guys in and whatever. He worked behind the jab. He had a complete arsenal of shots. He had uppercuts on the inside. He worked the body with both hands, but his left hand to the liver was particularly damaging. I now feel like I would go with Chavez with a, pulling out a close decision just from coming on in the last quarter of the fight. That's what I have to say about that.
Here's what I want to do. Since Chavez has the lead right now, I want to give Curtis Anderson a chance to give your case to the chat before I put the vote out.
Yes, sir. You know, there's always a fight that's very telling. You can go over a fighter's whole career. There's always that one fight that will tell and show you, or you can make an assessment of a fighter's career. It's all got to do with style. If you stand in front of Chavez, I see him mow down people like Rodolfo Aguilar and Lonnie Smith and Johnny Duplessis and Edwin Chapo Rosario. I can go on and on. I know this guy. I know him very well. I took years of studying him. His weakness is the same as Sonny Liston, George Foreman, Roberto Duran, Felix Trinidad. I can go on and on. Chavez was an intelligent fighter, like Battle Rifle said. He did little things that, the average casual boxing fans couldn't catch or see. Right? But he didn't like movement. You go look at the Pernell Whitaker fight, he was totally frustrated. He was neutralized. And Pernell Whitaker kept spinning him. And the same attributes that Pernell Whitaker has, Floyd Mayweather has. And I believe Floyd is a better boxer because sometimes Pernell fought to the level of his competition with Hurtado and Rivera and a couple of other fighters. And Floyd, at another tangible, was great in big fights. That's something that you don't see in a lot of fighters that, will bring their A game. Leonard was the same way. Ali was the same way. They were great in big fights. He will respect Chavez, so he would force Mayweather to move. And that will be not good for Chavez because Chavez has to come to him and chase him. When you got a guy, footwork, who can fight backwards, left to right, or aggressive, but he wouldn't do that against Chavez. He wouldn't do that. He was to keep Chavez in the middle of the ring, throw combinations. Floyd had very fast hands as a lightweight, and we've seen Taylor fast hands, but Taylor didn't have the IQ that Floyd had. He didn't have what you call in boxing layman's or terminology, moxie and savvy. Mayweather has that in abundance. And as much as I love Chavez and love watching him break down fighters, because he didn't have one punch knockout power. He has to break you down, so he has to hit you a lot as the round, go on. That's what he did to Taylor. He broke him down beautifully. But he wouldn't, Mayweather would not give him the ability to do that. And Mayweather would neutralize him. Chavez would have his moments, but as I close out, just look at the Pernell Whitaker fight. When Pernell used footwork, the whole fight changed. So the difference will be the footwork because even Chavez is a special fighter. Mayweather is special as well, but he just has a more difficult style, and that's the style that Chavez seen before and didn't like it. Frankie Randall was just a master counterpuncher. Whitaker was a master counterpuncher and, had footwork. And Mayweather had, you combine the two, Mayweather have them both. Randall hit harder, of course, but it will be the footwork that will beat Chavez.
Okay. All right. So there's the case. Before I go to the chat, did anyone in the panel, just these people, has anyone changed their mind or want to switch their pick before I move on to the chat? Going once, twice. It looks like nobody wants to change their mind. Okay. This is going to be very interesting. I'm going to have to actually do some math now, but chat, give me a 1 for Mayweather. Give me a 2 for Chavez. Give me the numbers. All right. It has to be the number, by the way. Don't just put the name or just 1 Mayweather, to Chavez. Here we go. AJ 10's got Chavez. He's a member. That's points right there. Well, you can't vote again, EJ. You're voted in the panel. He's trying to sneak in another vote. Like, hold on.
I just like this, man. If Floyd lose, good. Fuck him.
I mean, I just want to say, Callie, like, Monty Brown right now. I was just on the channel like earlier. They're doing like a breakdown on Floyd versus Errol Spence Jr. And
I got Earl by knockout.
I don't know about that. See, look, this is my whole reason for that.
Floyd, bro. I don't think you understand, bro. I'm irrational. I don't like the dude. Dude's a bitch.
Well, yeah, okay. Well,
fuck him.
But yeah, I understand. I agree with you that. But I just like to say that, when it comes to fighters and generations, believe you me, even Adrian Broner has went through it. Every fighter coming up that seems to be in the public eye going to be great, almost always is going to be compared to the greats, and almost always going to be seemingly on a whole another level than the people behind them. Felix Trinidad was getting paired to Sugar Ray Robinson. Triple G was getting paired to Hagler. I mean, yeah, a bit, unwisely, but it happened. Floyd Mayweather was getting paired to Sugar Ray Leonard, and what's a good example? Shane Moser getting paired to Roberto Duran, or Lomachenko getting paired to Floyd. Usually it blows over. Like people, like a lot of times people just think, oh my God, like this guy is the goods. Like it happens every time somebody comes out. Like of course you will ride by some fans that will honestly think that Triple G is the goods. He can beat anybody that they put in front of him. So, or you could be somebody that'd be like, oh, okay, Sergey Kovalev is the goods. Like usually it blows over, but sometimes it don't.
Okay. Let's go ahead and reveal the winner, guys. It looks like everyone voted there. Shout out to Blood Boxing, by the way. Retro Boxing.
Can I switch real quick? Cause I fucking hate Floyd. Who's gonna say that Chavez Senior, man? I really switching it, bro. I fucking hate that dude, bro. And can I'll tell you guys why real quick, if you don't mind. Can I tell you why I don't like Floyd real quick, if you don't mind?
Go ahead.
Floyd Mayweather, right? We went to Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury for the first fight, and it was me, Town Biz. It was Town Biz, Blue Blood Sports TV, my girl. There was another dude. I can't think of the dude's name. We were out there. We were supposed to meet it with the dude, but we decided not to. We decided we wanted to go back and get interviews over at the not the Ritz-Carlton, but at the Marriott, right? So he went to the Marriott. We were headed to the Marriott, but the Marriott is the Ritz-Carlton. In order to get to the Marriott, we went on the opposite, on the others. The Marriott and Ritz-Carlton attached to each other, right? Same building. It's over there at LA Live. So we were walking on the sidewalk, and all of a sudden Floyd came out. And my girl said, "Hi, Floyd." And then Floyd was like, "Oh, no pictures, no pictures." Like, ain't nobody trying to get no pictures of you, bro. We trying to go in here, and it was cold outside. We were trying to get into the JW Marriott to go get interviews with other boxers. Floyd was mad because he had bet on Tyson Fury to win the fight, and he lost $1 million. So Floyd, in the meantime, he had told me, he said, "No pictures, no pictures." So he started yelling at everybody. He was about to get in the car, and then his bodyguard was like, "No pictures, no pictures, like you about to do something." I'm like, "Dude, you better, just stay your ass back." But then Floyd said, "Get off my property." Floyd said, "Get off my property." Like, you don't own the fucking Ritz-Carlton, dude. You don't. It's a hotel. Telling us to get off his property. Moody said, "No pictures, no pictures. Get out of here." Just hollering at us, screaming at us and shit like that. And then Blue was like, Blue knew Floyd Mayweather's bodyguard. He said, "Man, you know me. What's up with this?" He's like, "Bro, we not even trying to take pictures of the dude or anything like that. We were trying to go into the JW Marriott." But Floyd was constantly being an asshole the entire time there, telling us to get off his property, get out of here. I'm like, dude, you can't tell us to leave the Ritz-Carlton. You don't own that bitch. And we weren't even thinking about your ass. We left you alone. We were supposed to meet you down at near the ring of the arena, we decided not to because there was more fights coming on after the main event. We didn't want to wait. We left. So we weren't even trying to hang out with dude. And he was pissed off. Go ahead.
I hear you, Kelly. That's crazy. But you don't get to switch your pick. You're gonna have to keep your pick. All right. But let's go ahead and do this really quick. First of all, before I announce the winner, tomorrow's brackets. I mean, there it is. Okay, you guys are looking at the matchups. Don't give me your takes yet. But tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 Central. Okay, 6 Mountain, 5 over there, Pacific. Okay, so tomorrow we will do this bracket, and the winner of this bracket is going to face this winner, right? And the winner of the first bracket in controversial fashion, it's going to be Julio Cesar Chavez. He did get most of the points. Okay, there wasn't enough to make up for that. So Chavez wins the first half of the bracket. I actually did not expect this. I thought, if anything, the panel would overrule me. I kind of already knew this would have been the final, this or Mosley. But here it is. Chavez wins, guys. All right. Curtis, I know you picked Mayweather to win. This would have been like a robbery or something, like a controversial card or something.
No, it's just, people got a right to their opinions. Fantasy fights is always fun, but I think people, with certain fighters, they let their emotions get in the way. Chavez is royalty, and I understand, what he means. I used to go into the Mexican restaurants, in Passaic, New Jersey, where they have a very large Mexican community. Everybody had a picture of Chavez. So I used to tease the guys and be like, how about Salvador Sanchez?
It's my guy.
And the catch weight, Sanchez would have gave more problems than Chavez because of the style. Master counter puncher with long arms and a good boxer. He was a better fighter than Chavez. I used to argue all the time about Salvador Sanchez, how he was a better fighter. But anyway, but once you tap into the emotions of people, Chavez is going to be hard to beat from a psychological, emotional standpoint, because he could walk on water, man. he could walk on water. And I understand, because I understand that boxing and fighters, they have a compelling personality. They become icons, bigger than icons. Sanchez, if he didn't die in a car crash, he would have been bigger than Chavez. He's still big, though, but that was me and my father's favorite Mexican fighters of all time. My father loved Salvador Sanchez.
Yeah, most definitely. Look at the much anticipated Brandon Rios versus Roberto Duran fight.
Oh my goodness.
But if you guys are down, man, tomorrow we will finish this tournament. All right. And
you guys, but you guys do remember when Jim Lampley said that Triple G has moved ahead as the number one middleweight of all time.
Oh, okay.
I know you guys heard that, right?
Yeah.
I hope you didn't say that.
No, he said.
Oh, but Callie, it's funny you mentioned that story. My uncle actually has a very similar story to that one. He actually knows Rick Ross. Like, they actually grew up together, and like Ross, like I don't know if he's hanging out with him much now, but I think it was like years ago. Like my cousin, he told me about how he met him. So he told me about how I was like, oh yeah, I was like, my cousin's name is I'm calling him Rail. I'll be like, hey, hook me up with Rick Ross, man. I want to, talk to 50 Cent and whatnot. And he was like, yeah, man, he know a lot of them dudes, Floyd and all of them. And it was years ago he told me this, so I don't know if they're hanging out now. And I was like, he's like, yeah, Floyd Mayweather. He was like, yeah. And then he was like, my daddy don't like it. I was like, why? What happened? He was like, he was hanging out with Ross or whatnot. And, Ross, came up to Floyd, and, Floyd, came out with his entourage, he was, kind of being the same way he was acting. You know, he shook Rick Ross' hand, you know, hugged him up, be like, hey, what's up, dog? And then, you know, that's when my uncle came in, you know, it was like, hey, Floyd, how you doing? You know, I'm a big fan of yours. And then one of the greatest fights I've ever seen. Floyd just, you know, sized him up, sized him down. And then he didn't want to shake his hand. Like, he looked at him for like a full minute until he reached out his hand with like, germs, man, germs. And then he was like, oh, okay, whatever. And then after that, he just didn't want nothing to do with him.
Well, I'm gonna say this real quick, man.
Hey, what is that, man? The funny thing is, we didn't even try. Go ahead, Kurt.
Let's let Curtis go. Go ahead, Curtis.
What people fail to realize, like celebrities, because I just see them all the time, you know, in New York and Manhattan, all the time, you know, like the Jay-Z's and everybody, the girls from Sex and the City, Cynthia Nixon, and she was the nicest one. But when you run up to people and yelling and all excited, it just gives the celebrity that much more power. I ignore celebrities and take pride with it because I was at a boxing event real quick at the Robert Treat Hotel, you know, and this was years ago. And Eric B, you know, we took a pic together, but my friend George, and he don't play, George said, why the hell are you frowning? You know, you didn't frown in his face. As soon as he turned his back, talk about me, you frowning. You know, we just here showing you love. And he didn't say nothing. So I said, I wish I would have saw that. But I just don't, you know, I just don't take homage of running up to celebrities and begging for an autograph. I guess I'm a man with pride, but, you know, Floyd, you have to separate him in the ring and out the ring. I know he's a bitch. I know that. Other fighters too.
You know what though? We never tried to. We had an opportunity to go meet him. We didn't want to. We wanted to go do more interviews and shit like that for content for the fight. We weren't even trying to meet Floyd.
I hear you guys.
Yeah, 1 second, D-style boxing. We get ready to close out. NBA players are the worst. Eli Manning, the quarterback for the Giants, the nicest guy in the world. Jerry Cooney, the nicest guy in the world. I met them at Landmark Catering. I met Cooney in front of Madison Square Garden. But, you know, Lawrence Taylor was okay, you know, but you can't stay in front of his face too long. You know, you just have to speak to him and run. Because Lawrence Taylor had a club called LT's right by my job, and it was a hot spot. But a lot of football and basketball players, man, I would never ask for anything. Michael Jordan was the worst, and the worst rapper to meet was Kool Moe Dee. The worst.
Warren Sapp, and I'm giving you
go ahead and finish your thoughts, Kelly, so I can go ahead and go to the last thing real quick. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I just wanted to say, Floyd, man, we didn't try to meet Floyd. Warren Sapp was a piece of shit, bro. I remember it was part of my job. We had to screen. I was working for my cousin. We had to screen the luggage and shit like that. The Oakland Raiders, we had to do that every time they go on the road. And Warren Sapp is an absolute piece of shit. Him and Jerry Porter, wide receiver for the team that lost to the Buccaneers in the Super Bowl, number 84. Jerry Porter, another piece of shit. That motherfucker used to carry a mirror around, like, man, I'm just beautiful. He would look at himself in the mirror, and then one last one real quick before you go. Whatchamacallit? Oh, my fucking Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson's a complete and utter piece of shit, bro. That's a terrible person, bro.
What's going on, G-Funk? I appreciate the support. Hey, man, I just want to go around, ask you guys about, you know, just really quick. Let's start with EJ Boxing Live. EJ, I hope you could join us tomorrow. Maybe some more fights and stuff. Tell us what you think about Chavez winning and the tournament so far.
Yeah, no, it was around. It was pretty good. No, the tournament was pretty good. You know, I mean, I'm just like, you know, obviously it's kind of early in the morning over here in the UK. So I was happy even to catch the tournament. You know what I'm saying? But I was looking at some of the matchups. I was like, Alexis Arguello, boy. I was like, damn, man. I thought Alexis Arguello fight against Chavez. That was a wicked fight, boy. Bad at lightweight. I was looking at it, I was thinking, oh, maybe he would have got to the finals, but you know, that's how it goes and that. But no, man, Chavez at lightweight, yeah, man. You know what I mean? Like, between him and Floyd, that would have been good, or Floyd versus Alexis Arguello. I mean, I like them dudes though, man. It was a really good matchup. I mean, if you think about it, really good matchup. But if they did fight, you know what I'm saying, like hypothetically, how would we look on Floyd that he lost? You know what I'm saying? Because now the O's gone. You know what I'm saying? Because Chavez, yeah, he lost fights, but he didn't change that he was a great fighter. You know what I'm saying? So how would Floyd change that if they did fight and he'd lost? Would we look at him any differently? You know what I mean? But obviously he's never lost, so we don't know. But other than that, it's a great tournament. Yeah, look forward to one tomorrow. So great brackets, and really enjoy talking to you guys, man. Nice one. Appreciate it.
Most definitely, man. Thanks for dropping by. That's EJ Boxing Live, Battle Rifles. What do you think of the winner and the bracket so far?
Yeah, I actually would have loved to see Chavez and explosive thin man touch it up. That was that was a really good pick by EJ. I think it was, honestly, I thought Floyd was going to be the nice number one pick. I thought it was going to be one pick in Chavez, but I was wrong. I was surprised too, D style. So this is a good one. I'm looking forward to the light one tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, tomorrow has Duran, Whitaker. There's some good names tomorrow. All right,
They
thanks.
got Pryor there too.
Yep. Oh yeah, we got a lot of good names. That one's probably harder than this one for sure. And the winner faces Chavez, so that's going to be something. Thanks for dropping by, man. Hopefully we see you tomorrow, man.
Peace.
All right, Curtis. I know sometimes your phone heats up, so I want to give you a chance to give your last thoughts.
Yeah, because I'm at 5%, man, or 7%. StreamYard eats up my battery. It was at 99% when I was charging it. But real quick, I thank the panel, thank the chat, man. It's always great, that we can have fantasy matchups, man. It's juicy and succulent like a steak, man. And even though there's no boxing, hey, boxing don't stop with us, man. We're gonna find something to talk about. But I'm gonna say this real quick: the best matchup of the tournament didn't happen. This fight is an all-time great. Roberto Duran Manos de Piedra versus Grand Campeon Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. That would have been like Rocker Sock and Robots. We used to debate about that fight. I got Duran winning by late round knockout because Duran was a goddamn monster at 135.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for Rios, but enough of that. But I want to say thanks, D Style. I'll be on 7 to 8 tomorrow, 8 o'clock my time or 9 o'clock.
What time zone are you in?
East. What time? Where you at again?
That's going to be 8 your time.
Okay. And great tournament, man. Shout out to Cali and EJ and Stormy B, man, and Battle Rifle, man. Good job, fellas. And
Kurt, we got to do a show, man, about MCs, man. We definitely got to do one about
definitely
top MCs, man. For sure, man. And
absolutely, hit me up.
And D Style's a Buffalo Bills fan. I know you're a Steelers fan, so that's something we could actually have a discussion on that too.
Oh man, definitely, man. But I want to say bye to you guys, man. Have a great night, man. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks for dropping by, bro. Callie, give us some final thoughts, man. On the
winner. Man, thanks for letting me come on, man. Yeah, man, we should definitely do one about football, man. That'll be a whole nother argument that can go crazy. We start talking about football too, but yeah, I appreciate the 135 tournament was dope. I'm looking forward to. Heck, you could probably just do 140 too eventually. There's a lot of legends that come out of 140.
Yeah.
Do 140, 147, all the way up to 160. From pretty much from 135 to 160 is a beast. A lot of beasts have come through that weight right there, that 25-pound weight difference. But yeah, man, thanks for letting me come on. I always appreciate you, man. You're a good friend of mine, even outside of here, man. Love what you're doing on here, man. Just keep grinding. Looking forward to your next show, D-Style, man. I'll be there tomorrow.
All right, Kelly, thanks for dropping by, bro. And, of course, we got Stormy B-Man. Make sure you guys subscribe to all these guys' channels, by the way. But subscribe to Stormy B-Man as well. Stormy, what are your thoughts on the winner? Were you surprised that when you looked at the bracket, did you think this was going to be the winner?
I did not necessarily think that that's how it was going to shake out. But at the end of the day, it doesn't surprise me because when you start talking about a throwback, listen, man.
Yeah. I got it. At first I thought your phone was acting up.
No,
Yeah, I got you.
this was a song that was played when Chavez came out to fight Camacho.
There we go. Yeah.
And the thing about it was, dude, this was at the height of his fame. Okay. And the thing about it was, Chavez had accomplished a lot. And I will say this. Some people didn't want to give him the credit. Okay. But just how people looked at this tournament,
Mm-hmm.
it speaks volumes of respect for his accomplishments in the sport.
Yeah.
I like to give credit where credit is due. Let me tell you something. When he and Meldrick Taylor fought back in, what was that, 1990, 1991, 1990, it was just a couple months after the Tyson Douglas upset. They were pound for pound the best in the sport. You know, it was the biggest fight, you know. And Meldrick Taylor was one hell of a talent.
Yeah.
This man won that fight with 2 seconds to go. Now, people could say Richard Steele stopped it early. Lou Duva interfered because he distracted Taylor by getting up on the ring apron. A lot of things, but Chavez won the fight. It ain't over till it's over, you know. And he pulled victory from the jaws of defeat enough. Yes, he suffered some losses. Yes, he had some controversial situations. But you really can't take away from someone who's really accomplished and did it. You know, he has a body of work. And there were some outstanding guys in this. Bud Crawford, you talk about Guayo. My goodness, there was men.
Yeah, great division.
And Kurt made the acknowledgement. We didn't get to see Duran and Chavez in this tournament, but maybe we will. Who knows? Right. We still got to let tomorrow's thing play out.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, when you see this, you don't really think about the magnitude until it happens. This was one hell of a tournament, and Chavez came out on top, bro. That's amazing. And it's not like unjust. You know what I mean? It's respect. It's respect for what he accomplished in his career. My hat's off to him. I had no idea how this was going to shake out. I was just going along with the show. So thank you for helping me be a part of this. I loved it. I'd like to come back tomorrow and finish it out. But man, this was just amazing. I'm sitting here like really fired up behind what we did this evening. This was really nice. Very respectful.
I tell people, like, when you look at the list, don't just say, okay, this guy's going to win it. You got to let the matches play out. You know what I mean? Because 2 or 3 matches go the opposite way. Maybe Chavez doesn't win it. You know what I mean? Who knows?
Yeah.
So it's yeah.
But thank you again for having me be a part of this, man. This was wonderful. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Anytime. We got to make the best of no boxing being around. So, this was great, man. Stormy B, man, thank you very much for joining me. The chat, thank you very much. This is D-Style Boxing, and today we definitely kept it boxing. We're out. Peace.
Peace.